they'll win this game, but we're talking 55-45 max. It's going to be super tight, it's going to be explosive, but I do believe the Frenchies have it.
All right, Maniac saying that the Frenchies will have it. Heretics, of course, as he said, a 13-1 comeback on towards Nuke. It was a 12-3 halftime for Winstrike on their D side of Nuke, and they were really looking as if they were going to bring home the first map, yet they lost it. Then on towards Vertigo, they won 16-14, only to lose 16-13 after. It was quite a scary match between them the first time around, and now, as Maniac of course said, the map's already being known, and that makes it very easy for at least the Frenchies to read in, but possibly also Winstrike to say, well, we can now see what we did wrong on the past few times, improve, and come out even stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you've got that preparation that Maniac spoke about as well. The interesting game to see. Okay, who's prepared the best? Who's really looked ahead at this as best as they possibly could, and are now going into this. Well, really just feeling ready, I think is the right way to put it. You know, who is really going to show up and actually prove that they either are going to be able to post the same result. Of course, that would be Team Heretics, or if it's going to be Winstrike kind of, I wouldn't say upsetting, because these are pretty equally matched in a certain way. You know, you've seen that these really fight it out really close. They've both got some serious comeback potential, and with that, I'd say it's not really an upset of any sort, but it's more like, is Winstrike going to be the better team this time around? And I think that potential is definitely there. You know, it's going to be incredibly close, and I'm very excited to see these two teams honestly get into it and prove themselves. The map pick indeed also being, well, rather similar, I dare say. You know, you've got Vertigo showing up again, you've got Nuke showing up again, but then that Dust 2 Decider, which is also quite even if you look at the statistics. You know, we've got 50% win rate against 60% win rate for Heretics and Winstrike respectively. And Winstrike, they do have the edge there. They have that 10% more going for them. It's also over the same amount of maps, over 10 maps. So 6 out of 10 times, Winstrike wins there. And maybe, you know, this is going to be that 1 out of the 10 times that Team Heretics might have to give away Dust 2. And then it could turn into the, well, 2-1 in favor of Winstrike. And that would be very interesting to see. And definitely unexpected, I'd say.
That's a scary part for Heretics. Of course, they know they have beaten this team before, but it was so incredibly close, and it could have still gone either way. And this match as well could go either way. We're banking on Heretics being the better team. They have a lot of experience. They have a lot of, well, support from their organization as well, and they were stronger last time around. But Winstrike, well, maybe in the time they actually waited, learned, prepared, and are now the stronger party. And of course, once more, we have to say Heretics lost their past 2 matches before going in towards this match as well.
Absolutely, and that was, of course, the result that they posted against Mad Lions, and then also against, I believe that was SJ?
Existence.
Existence, even, yeah. Existence, of course, the Danish team, because, well, and Mad Lions too, because Danish CS, clearly it is very stacked, and they've got some very good teams in the running there. And with that, you know, it is maybe painting a bit of a picture. It could show that Heretics, the last few days, you know, whilst they've been waiting it out here, having to battle it out a little bit in the meantime against some other teams in some other competition, that they haven't been performing as well as you'd expect them to. Maybe it's the nerves, but maybe there's something going on there. Maybe there's some sort of upset. You know, they lost 11-16 against Mad Lions, I believe, and it was also a best of 3 against, of course, Existence. So it's interesting. You know, a best of 3 is what we're going into here as well, and they're going to have to show up on this one, and I hope, you know, that at least they're going to perform better than they did against Existence.
Of course, it's going to be really hard. Both teams not really played each other in, well, close time, of course, a week ago. So you don't really know exactly how they will perform at this moment in time. You have a hunch, but you would figure that both teams actually change up a lot because, well, they know it was close last time around, so you need to bring something different. And it's going to be a question on which team can actually convert onto those changes a little bit more, who will be more flexible. And usually that's a team on their opponent's map pick because they don't have that set game plan as, of course, maybe Heretics will have on Nuke.
Absolutely, you know, that's kind of the question mark as well. Heretics, maybe you could say they're a bit more prepared, they're a bit overly prepared maybe almost, and with that Winstrike can kind of throw in the random element sort of, they can kind of, you know, surprise Heretics in that sense, and they'll have that going for them. That is definitely exciting to see how that is going to pan out, you know, if that's going to mean that Winstrike with that can get a certain edge over Team Heretics, and maybe the edge that they actually need, because we said it before, the previous results were very, very close. Saw that 16-13, the 16-14. So honestly, it means that Winstrike only needs a few more rounds to get the edge over Team Heretics, and that also means that there's a lot of potential of that actually going to happen. So I would say watch out, you know, if you're Team Heretics. Don't underestimate Winstrike because they could be a very, very strong opponent.
Indeed. Well, according to the Fi.gg odds, Heretics also in favor, of course, taking into account the world ranking, taking into account the past performance just a week ago. And I would dare to say Heretics indeed should be able to win. But will they? That's going to be the question. The first map, as you said, Vertigo, it's quite evenly matched.
Yeah.
So that really makes it quite hard for the side of Winstrike to actually convert it because, well, Heretics has played it before. They know what to expect, and maybe they will just be that little bit better because I do believe the last time these teams played, it was a 16-14. And RJ, didn't we see in that last round just an incredible close round where Nivera wasn't able to convert a spray and his teammate eventually fell as well?
Yeah, it's worrying, you know. It's those last few rounds, the critical ones, where the teams sometimes just decide to, oh, well, not I'd say, I hope not decide to throw it, but they just do throw it at the end. And when the pressure is really on and when they really, really have to perform, that's those moments when you notice, like, oh no, oh, it's going to go wrong, oh dear, oh no,
it should have been an overtime.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the only thing we have to say. The last time around these teams played on towards Vertigo, that last round could have gone either way. It was a 2-on-2 situation. Nivera wasn't able to convert a spray in towards a kill. Then XMS was all on his lonesome, got one frag and then died. And just looking at that, Winstrike really needs to improve themselves because letting your own map pick almost go to overtime, almost throwing that away, could have been a loss. And then
Absolutely.
it would have been a 2-0 in favor of the side of Heretics. And that is the worrying factor for me. That is maybe the indication which could make it in towards a 2-0 in favor of Heretics. However, Winstrike, of course, being really strong on their T side last time around on towards Nuke, being able to maybe improve a little bit on towards their CT side because they barely got a round. And only one round on your CT side and then losing still? Painful.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's kind of a worrying result. And also the win statistics, you know, I do have to say, for Winstrike, though, on Nuke, they don't paint the most, well, comforting picture, but then in the end, you know, they do still make it close, but that was definitely one of the nail biters, you know. Nuke with that really, really large reverse sweep, so to speak, was, well, it's just not the kind of result that you expect, not something that you see happening, and it does say something about both teams. Now, it means that, okay, there's that comeback potential is definitely there, but why did you get into that position in the first place? You know, why couldn't you lay down a much better half going into the second? And it makes you think, you know, okay, well, there's a bit of a problem here. You know, you got that reverse sweep now, but that's not something you should be relying on or something that you should be banking on. Because that you are really just giving it away to a bit of random chance as well. You know, the odds of you actually winning, you know, the 12 rounds in a row that they needed over 13 even, they are quite slim, you know. That doesn't happen that often. So that's not the kind of thing that you wish to really just put your faith in and hedge your bets on and just say, oh yeah, but we'll get this 13-1. That's no problem. And in the end, you know, they did pull it off, but I worry. I don't see them doing that again, you know. Nuke with that, just also the statistics being very much in favor of Heretics. If Winstrike don't provide some sort of good fire against them, you know, if they do win that first map and they do want to try and make that the 2-0 that we, well, I guess we both wouldn't expect because we are saying that Team Heretics should have this, but if they would make that the 2-0 for Winstrike, then it is going to have to happen, obviously, on Nuke, and they're going to have to show up again like they did the last time, but then just go the extra mile, so to speak.
Yeah, we'd be very amazed.
Oh, absolutely.
RJ, I think one of the biggest questions is, of course, will you try to speak French for Heretics because your pronunciation in French is amazing, just like I try to do for the Romanian fans of Nexus, because green heart, you know.
Sans problème, je peux faire ça. That's years of practice, you know, drilled into me from, like, I believe when I was 10 years old, because that's when you start learning French in Belgium.
Really?
Yeah.
That's terrible. Well, of
It's
course,
okay.
we do have a Belgian player on the side of Heretics as well. Nivera, of course,
Yep.
Scream's brother. We shouldn't take him into regard as the brother because he's playing out of his mind himself.
he's
So it's
making-
already his own brand.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's really making a name for himself there. It is a good thing to keep in mind because clearly some of that aim skill must be genetic, it seems like, you know, and Nivera does really show that. But indeed, you know, he's making a name for himself, and with Team Heretics now, if they perform well here, if they, you know, increase in ranking before you know it, you could see them really up there, you know, in the actual Tier 1 competitions and the really, you know, upper level CS. And that would, of course, you know, it'd just be, I guess, really nice to see, you know, to see him kind of continuing that legacy, so to speak, and to really prove that clearly those Belgian players can be quite the threat sometimes.
Well, I'm banking on my bet on Vital.gg to be right.
Yeah.
You convinced me to go for that over 2.5 maps because so far we would expect it to be close. There is a very good chance we might see first Winstrike take on the map of Their opponents at least take it, and then Heretics doing the other way around. And then on Dust, we'll have a decider. I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I also push you a little bit. You might as well. You went for that 20. You know, it's the full-on investment. And well, I do like the fact you did commit to it. And we'll see if with that you can maybe earn the community an extra 20 euros because. Well, you do have, you know, you're basically at this point, you just have to catch up for what I can't do.
I'm rich as can be.
Yeah.
It's time to get in towards this match. It's going to be the knife, of course, to decide the side, as it will now be Heretics taking on Winstrike for, of course, that Group A final. Who will be the seed 1, who will be seed 2, and who will get, of course, that additional 1,000 euros?
That is the question, and we'll see now. You know, the knife round, always a bit of a momentum builder, always a moment to see, you know, whose way it's going to go from the start, because got that knife round, you get this preferred side that you can start on, and well, that's always a nice start of the round. But ooh, this is close.
Just a little bit of a swap around, but Nivera's just too good. He will get 3 knives of his own, and of course now the knife goes to Heretics. Most likely they will start on the CT side. I wouldn't really expect any team so far to start on T, just like maybe the old team of the Fuse Kids or nowadays Lowland Lions did. They decided we can build tempo, we can at least play possibly a little bit worse on the less favored side and make it back on towards CT. We don't see that just yet. Of course, now Heretics once more going for that CT side, which, well, is most logical after winning that knife. But will they win the pistol as well?
We will have to see, you know, that's all what remains to be decided. It would be a good momentum start for them as well. You know, they get those first few rounds in because if you get your pistol, you know, the second you are probably looking against a force. At least that's what happens in most cases. Also does depend on if Winstrike would get that bomb plant or not. But it is very likely that they're still going to, you know, just buy through that, no problem whatsoever, and that they will put up a bit of a stronger fight, you know, in that second round. But the moment that you get that second round down, the third is almost a given because you're going to be looking, you know, at some sort of, well, probably eco. There is no other way usually, unless, of course, as I said, they don't force in that second round and they just eco it out.
Nickelback already practicing his B-take as, well, last time around on towards Vertigo between these teams just a week ago, it was Vertigo going in favor of Winstrike. 16-14 could have gone in towards overtime. It should have most likely gone in towards overtime, but Nivera was just not able to convert the spray in time. It was, however, Winstrike starting on that CT side. It was 9-6 in favor of Heretics on their T side, of course, and then 16-14, a win eventually clutched out by Winstrike. Will we see more than the rounds we've seen from Heretics last time around on CT? Of course, being it 5, or will we just see Winstrike walk away with it once more? It's going to be, of course, out of pistol to decide who will start with a little bit of momentum in their favor. It's going to be those USPs and one diffuse kit on towards Lucky with 2 flashbangs as well. Will it be enough for him to at least stop this push to come in while Kiyoshima already executed by the P250 of a Lion? And that makes it a little bit awkward for the Frenchie side.
Well, it's not the best start for them, but it's only 1 man down, so they can still turn this around. But it is the pistol round, and frags are a little bit more critical here, especially as Maka just peeks in, but doesn't really do much in return, just kind of falls back. Oh, he gets flashed in, and Krizen does get a frag out of that as well. Now it is definitely starting to look more like Winstrike's pistol round, because Krizen, he just continues, gets a lovely headshot on Lucky. In the meantime, Lucky can take out XMS, and, well, Nivera, you are the last player standing, and there was a lot of pressure on you. And I would have expected him to maybe clutch it out, but no, sadly, couldn't manage, and that is a clean pistol round going to Winstrike.
It was a clean round, and, well, Winstrike right now doing the exact same they did before. Of course, win that pistol round first. Last time around, as said before, they were also on that CT side, but they need to build momentum. The more rounds they get on the T side, the easier they make it for themselves, because between these teams, T side seemed to be favored. Of course, there will be a force buy coming down from the side of Heretics with Maka not buying armor. Because of course, he wants to go for an AWP later on. He's already contesting towards mid, actually in the ladder room as well. So he might go for an A flank later on.
We'll see now, but obviously his presence is known, so Maka can't really do a lot here anymore, and he has to fall back. Gets even more fire, well, put on him, so to speak. With that, we'll see if he can fall back. He does manage to not really lose any of his life, but it is going to be dangerous here for Winstrike. You know, if they walk into the right angles, Heretics might just get a lovely 1D out of this, or maybe even make it 2, 3. I think it's very possible.
slow and steady play from the side of Winstrike, at least trying to play the smart game and not give anything in favor of the Heretic side. Taps to come out, Kiyoshima once more headshot, and that's how Nickelback takes down Maka as well. Lucky being able to do something in return, that it won't be more than just one frag. Nifera standing by, Vertical in hand, but he can't really force the issue as they're not pushing through. We do now see most likely that 2-0 to come in from Winstrike, and not really a throw that we've seen before from different teams.
Absolutely, and it does mean that this second round is in their pocket. And now I do wonder what it is going to give on that third round, because Heretics, you know, they did buy out the Eagles here. They really don't have much more to work with, so, oh dear, XMS.
That's a juicy wallbang to come through.
He did, but he does make it out with his life. Just, well, to be fair, armor is also not that bad. Nivera here can just save in full, so to speak. Keeps his armor, keeps the smoke in his hands. Now we see the bomb exploding. Winstrike grabbed the second round, and it's off to a good start for them. That's the question being, oh, Nivera.
He tried to battle it out against the Galil of Nickelback, but, well, Nickelback always coming back with some fire. It's going to be that 2-0 in favor of the CIS team. Taking on Heretics once more, this time against an eco. And a full eco, we dare to say, shouldn't put in too much of a fight yet. No. We have seen some crazy stuff happen, and XMS still deal on armor.
And of course, you know, that is a risk, I suppose, for Winstrike. But I feel like seeing as Heretics didn't really show themselves on their Deagle buy in the second round, I wouldn't be too worried in this case. I'd expect more from Bondic to just get a lovely one-tap in there.
Oh, this nade. Money,
solid.
Baby. Maka and Kiyoshima going slightly lower than they were before. Just a flashbang to then disrupt them even more, as there's going to be more players. Actually 5 standing by, moving in. They get the first frag, actually. It will be a Lion and Nickelback just to stand by and get some frags in return. It will be a Lion still holding the angle, and Nickelback taking yet another for himself. Leaving only XMS alive, still of course with that Deagle in hand. But just not really able to find a frag until Nickelback will be running. But that's a little bit of greed coming down from Winstrike.
Yeah.
Over-aggressive with just one player through the smoke.
And also, I believe he was trying to recover that that AK that was dropped there. But now XMS gets it instead. That is maybe not the best result coming in for Winstrike. They can get the plant in the meantime on the B-bomb site. Krisen holding that off. Well, tactically, I'd say, you know, with all the coolness that he can be or can need even, I'd say. We'll see now that XMS is probably going to go for saving this. Because that AK, Deagle, bit of utility even, and the armor, it's definitely worth keeping. No need to throw that all away for a fight that you probably won't win.
It's a very good save as well. Just to have that molly, that AK, that armor is just so much value that you can take in towards the next round. And he can then, of course, drop an AWP for his teammate, and the teammate can buy normal armor and utility. Lecky, however, will eventually hunt him down very slowly, but he will. That means we now have a 3-0 lead in favor of the Winstrike team. Now battling up against the first full buy coming in from Heretics. And they weren't able to build a little bit of economy, of course, by XMS dying in the end, but this nade, once more, just money.
Yeah, it was a solid start of the round, and here you can see the taps coming in from Elian even, and he's getting a couple of really good frags from that. And here we can see Nickelback as well, really just taking out Mac, who was pushed up quite close, of course. But we'll see now. This time it is Heretics facing off on a full buy. And this is their chance to come back, to actually deal some damage to Winstrike this time around and prevent them from even getting onto the bomb site in the first place.
Well, there is that AWP on towards Maka standing by, looking to possibly get a frag, but a Lion also one in hand. It's going to be just a little bit of mid-contest coming down from Krisen, trying to get Mac out of position, but he's still standing by with the AWP, and this should be a frag, and indeed it will be. Heretics now finally with their opener. Looking possibly for more, but if they would peek in yellow tarp, a Lion, he's standing by, but he just goes off at the wrong moment. And we still have that 5-4, still a lead for Heretics, and the nade will go towards ramp right now. And actually that deals little to no damage.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a shame. At the end of the day, you know, Heretics already have that one-man advantage over Winstrike now, with one of the Winstrike players being counted up for the running. We'll see if they can convert that now into an actual win, because that's really what Heretics needs at this point. You've got that kind of, well, expected 3-round streak there coming in from Winstrike, you know, which is kind of standard almost, I'd say, after that pistol round going to your side. You see it happen quite often. Naivera here from Cement. He could.
Well, he already got mollied off once, so he has to fight right now. He will get one frag before being traded out, and that still, of course, favors the CT side. However, now A-side control slightly gained by the Windstrike members, and there isn't really a flank coming in. They're all just sitting in towards CT with still one player on towards the B side on their CT half. So the bomb will come in, no nades to cancel it out. Now they just need to play a clean afterplan with a Lion being tagged up. Maka not actually holding down the angle as the player will cross. And it's going to be Lecky standing close by. 2 flashes. That could make it work, and the first one goes in. Lecky dodges it, wants to go for a repick. Yes, the first frag and a lineup as well as a double for himself. Leaving XMS to refrag and now in a 2v2. He's tagged up, Lion goes down. Bondik actually with a double frag as he fades away on towards Lucky as well. A 4-0 for Windstrike, and they're starting off really strong.
Absolutely, and this is, of course, their own map pick, has to be said. You know, Vertigo, they've played it 5 times more than Heretics has. They have 20% higher win rate, 60% versus 40, that is. So they've got a couple of things going in their favor here. But, well, look at this as well. You know, Bondik just right as he goes down, he still gets that headshot in from a spray down. And those are the kind of solid things that you do like to see. And that do paint a very positive picture looking ahead for Windstrike. And look as well at Maka getting damaged quite heavily there. Wallbang, I believe, from the AWP. And see, the engagements for Windstrike, they are just being won by them quite consistently, and that doesn't really give Heretics much of a chance, you know? And at the end there, Heretics, they had a one-man advantage for the majority of the round, but it was gone due to a really good spray down coming in from, I believe, Lackey that was. Yeah,
Lackey with a 2-man spray down, also dealing a little bit of damage on towards XMS, who eventually fell as well towards Bondik. Lucky moving in, he will go down to Bondik, and once more. Player from Ukraine racking up kills and also trying to clear out other positions. This time Naivera not playing from that angle at Cement, as, well, of course he now knows he hasn't got a single smoke to cover him off. Bondik once more going for the headshot, and once more he takes a Maka at the exact same position, so I'm not really sure why they are trying to contest it time and time again. Lucky as well with follow-up, only Naivera alive in a 1v5. He's just standing there, hoping to maybe get a frag for himself. But, well, I'm not really sure that Windstrike will actually grant him that, as of course they also need to build some money of their own. They have some reserves, but it could be more.
Absolutely, you know, it can always be better. It's only when you reach the money limit that you can say, okay, we don't need to worry about reserves anymore. But once you've reached that point, you should already be heading towards the end of the half. And right now, you know, in the start of this half, we see Naivera. He can save a smoke and a deagle and a bit of armor. But it's not really the best there, and the outlook for Heretics is looking a bit grim right now. It will depend on how much Windstrike can extend their lead now, if they can actually start to make this into something like, you know, 7 rounds, maybe 8. With, of course, if they get that 8th round, they have a decisive first half advantage going into the second half as well. You know, they have a definite round advantage then. And basically, you know, from the 8th round, it's all kind of extra, it's all bonus. Especially considering the fact that Windstrike, they're on the T side. They didn't win the knife round. This is not their preferred side, you could say.
Oh, no.
So,
well, last time around, however, when we saw these teams play, the T side was slightly favored, of course. So yeah, we have to still take that in towards account. But Windstrike, they're doing really, really solidly as of yet.
And it paints a worrying picture for Heretics. But we'll have to see. Maybe they can come back now. They've got another full buy in their hands. Got the utility, so if they use it well, delay Windstrike where necessary, and maybe, you know, how do I put it, push them out with a volley here or there, then there is a chance they could definitely get this, but they do still very much have to show up at this point. I kind of, how do I put it, I'm feeling a little bit shaky about my confidence that I had in Team Heretics. Ooh. It's the harsh reality.
Well, maybe you just need to make Heretics great again, as the flashes will go towards that ramp area. They're trying to contest it at this moment in time, but Lucky standing by. However, he loses Maka already. That brings us in towards the 5-on-4 in favor of the Windstrike team. Coming up ever so closely, and Lion still holding off his teammate. Lucky will go very low by a dink, but Nickelback as well now with a follow-up. And this is another clean entry, and most likely a save for the side of Heretics, because there's nothing really to gain for themselves. Bondik just playing the slow game once more, and they most likely expect the CT side to do nothing in return anymore. 6-0, it is coming in. And that would mean that, luckily, with these rifles saved, Heretics can buy. The problem is you're still playing a, well, comeback game. And that doesn't really help you at this moment in time.
No, absolutely not. And I'd say, you know, 6th round, it's getting to a kind of a sort of confidence point as well, where Windstrike is they're just starting to feel comfortable. Oh, XMS here, he could try and go for this, and he does get it. Bondic frags him out. But Risen here, will he go for this engagement? No, it doesn't look like it. He's also being mollied off, so he doesn't have a chance. And XMS, of course, seeing the value of saving that M4, and with that, trying again in the next round. That being their second chance, so to speak.
Well, the Fuego did stop him in the end, as Lion is tapping around his already low HP teammate. Oh, the spray almost on towards XMS through the smoke. He just didn't connect in time. 6-0, Windstrike doing well. And, well, we would expect maybe a force bite to come in from Heretics. They could have a FAMAS on towards Lucky, drop 2 rifles from Nivera and XMS, and still have a decent buy, because, of course, they still have that AWP saved as well. But are they going to? It seems like they're going for a pistol armor, not taking any risks, and figuring they need a full buy to make it work. But in my opinion, they just need an opening kill, because that's something they haven't really gotten all that much.
I would have also, personally, I would have just committed and tried your best with the, you know, those 2 weapons that you have, the AWP, the M4. So,
I think there might be a stop called.
Yep,
Indeed, there was a stop called due to most likely a player having some technical issues.
Most likely.
And then you, as long as there's no damage being dealt, you can still ask for a stop. If both teams agree, it will be the stop, and of course a replay of that round.
Yep.
Still, we have to say, Windstrike in favor, and Heretics, they're not really looking all too strong at this moment in time. They're just having some big problems. And they do have a disconnect as well, so that doesn't really help you in your mental game.
No, it's a bit of a bad start, you could say. You know, it's not really the game that we'd like to see coming out from Heretics. Not the game we anticipated, that's for sure as well. Because, well, we said this from the start. You know, we were seeing this quite positively for Heretics. We would definitely expect a free mapper because these teams are pretty evenly matched. But right now, at this point, from what Windstrike has shown us, it seems that they are just the better ones. You know, and it's the harsh reality of the situation. It's painful for Heretics. Nickelback here is just
working on his KZ.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful mover in the world, but, well, it seems as if Heretics is at least slowing things down. Not really in their favor, of course, because a disconnect already grinds your gears after being 6-0 behind. They're just waiting for most likely Kiyoshima to come back, as he is the player standing still in spawn still. And, well, Nickelback, he's now fading his jumps. It's getting to him. You can already feel the pressure.
Oh, he's tilting.
He's destructing.
We'll see, though. I do find it... I like Vertigo for the, like, the nice view that you have as well. This must be... Does this actually... Because you've told me that you've got fear of heights. So seeing this...
No, this isn't a problem.
No, this is fine.
However, you know what messes with my mind?
Tell me.
The screen behind us. Whenever I look at it...
No way.
No, it really...
Really?
Sometimes I look back at it. It's just really... It messes with my mind. Not always, but it's such a visual representation. Like, how the hell did I get here? I was just in an office building. And now, suddenly, there's nothing behind me. And there's a beautiful skyline, I have to say that, but it's weird.
No,
it's... Like, normally you see this in a game, and I'm not wearing VR goggles. Or at least I'm pretty sure I'm not.
No, it doesn't look like it.
And then you see this construction area. I'm like, this isn't exactly the career path I looked for. But it might just be. Never know.
Hey, now. You,
our rock star.
Yeah, that too. You never know, indeed. I would say, you know, it's I like it though. It's a nice backshot, but it makes me feel like I'm just right into the game. You know, it really helps for my immersion. So if we're playing Vertigo now, it's even better.
So you just want to get your position. What position do you play on Vertigo? Because we've talked about it on different maps. What position would favor you?
I've got to think back because it has been a while since I actually did come across Vertigo. It's been a lot.
That's good for you. Yeah.
Huh?
That's good.
No, I like Vertigo, but it's just been a lot of Dust 2 that's been coming up, and Mirage and the classic maps. But when I do play Vertigo, I tend to go on that B site actually, and I tend to hold off. I just tend to hold off stairs for the off chance that people do go for that site, because we've said this before as well.
Yeah. A is more of a default.
Yeah, A is more of a default, and you know, with B, you've kind of got a choke point there on stairs, and that makes it rather tough for T-side teams to really push through that. You know, it makes them hesitate. You can go for those interesting boosts as well sometimes, and they can help out. They can provide a bit of a change up, and they could try and surprise. But that, like, whilst you do see that coming from, you know, more of the top teams here, you don't see that as quickly in matchmaking, because, you know, it's matchmaking. So It's not super serious. It's not super dedicated.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right?
I always sweat as much as I can, as luckily Kiyoshima has rejoined us. Of course, we had a slight technical issue with him disconnecting as well. Now we will be back. We will be starting once more with a 6-0 score in favor of Windstrike. Pistol armor, as before, by Heretics, as called before as well. As Nivera is just dangling around with his knife. And the same goes for Lackey. They both have butterflies. And I have butterflies in my stomach just to see how this match plays out.
Aw, that's so nice. We'll see, though, you know, if it will go more decisively in favor of Windstrike. It starts off well, though. That is a lovely opening frag by Nivera. And that might just be the start that Heretics need. They do still have that weapon disadvantage with the Deagles and the CZ there in Lucky's hands. But maybe he'll get lucky. Maybe he'll get another frag. Or maybe he'll upgrade to an actual rifle.
Well, Kristen standing by as the smoke is slowly going to dissipate. XMS is standing behind the box right now. I think his shoulder is peeking out, and it might have actually spotted him as the smoke now goes away.
Yep.
They don't actually spot him
Lucky?
out, and that's going to be quite sloppy as XMS still standing. Also being baited by one of his teammates. That's one kill. But Kristen instantly with a refrag, of course. Trades still in favor of that CT side, having an opening kill from Nivera as well. There's now two players sitting by, including Nivera with his AWP. However, the player quite close. Could actually be, I believe, wallbang through this wood area, as Maka is indeed going for a little bit of a cheeky peek. But he shouldn't over-aggress, because the moment he does, the peek coming down, and also the wallbang possibly from Windstrike, but they only hit one bullet through that wooden barricade. That doesn't really bode too well for him. AWP still standing on the side. Flashbangs are necessary to at least cancel out Nivera for the time being, but the smoke could of course also work.
Ooh.
However, there will be a push coming in from Lucky. They are actually looking at him, but it's going to be one frag. Nivera also with a follow-up. Only Lucky alive. The 1v4. He gets the first two. So go for more. Oh, he runs out of bullets. Otherwise, it could have actually been a double kill, but look at the time as well. Only 15 seconds left. He has got to the first frag, but does he know the other player is just around the corner? Because he's really, really close. Lucky now going for a peek soon. Maybe the time is running out and he will be spotted out, but Lucky once more with a frag and the first round going in favor of Heretics.
I would say Lucky got lucky, but honestly, that was an incredibly close round. And for a moment, that was really looking massively in Heretics' their favor. You saw, look, it was only Lucky alive, and he had to pull off a 4v1, and he mostly did. Spray down.
If he had armor, I think he would have had a spray down of ammo.
Yeah, he could have just continued and putting the bullets down. Hey, look at this. These are nice controlled shots. So very well attempted by him, but in the end, Heretics does grab the upper hand there, thanks to Lucky coming in with that AK. And now we'll see if, well, this time round, Heretics can keep this up now. They've gotten their first round, and they've still got quite a few to go to catch up to Windstrike to make this first half a bit more decisive, a bit more successful, but there's a good chance for them so far. They can definitely pull off the comeback move now.
Maka will be naded out to roughly half HP, but still surviving. There is not another Molly 2 really coming soon, as of course there's also no smoke being dropped, and there will be more smokes on the side of Heretics to save Maka if he still wants to continue playing there. Look at the damage being dealt by the incendiaries and nades as well from the Heretic side, dealing decent damage on towards the T-side players. However, Bondek not being able to get a frag on towards Maka, who just wanted to go for that fall towards the A side. So far, no kills coming. We're waiting. And Windstrike is playing it slow, but it will be fragged out by Maka, going aggressive with the AWP once more. As now they do have a hunch that they could win rounds. Of course, they have a secondary op as well in the form of Nivera. And there's not really anything that he's doing as of yet. He's just playing solo on that B side. Maka with another frag will be refragged by Nickelback, however, but Bondek, the big player so far, has been taken out, and Kiyoshima with a very quick peek to come in. A second frag as well. Only Grison alive before, and he will eventually go down to Kyo as well. That means a 2-6
let's
score.
Easy now.
I'm believing in Heretics, man.
Yeah, you're looking at the future already, and I mean, hey, those Vi.GG odds are still in Heretics' their favor, considering their past performance, considering how they've beaten Windstrike in the past with a 2-1 result. So it is sensible. But, of course, let's not get ahead of things now. I'll wait until I see Heretics actually successfully end out this first half with a nice little advantage before I start calling a 12-6 type result.
Well, there will be a full buy coming in once more from Windstrike, yet their economy now actually out of cash. They need a bomb plant to at least make something work if they do lose another round. But of course, they're banking on a win right here with Lion standing among the smoke. Tag up, spots the player, there's a great frag on towards Maka. And the Russian player now falls back just a little bit. They have the advantage. They've taken out one of the key players from the Heretic side in the previous rounds. Kiyoshima now actually with the AWP will get one in return on towards Lackey, and Kristen has to force the issue on towards mid, spots a player. However, Nivera will just go for a cheeky peek just to fall back as Bondik is now moving up towards ramp as well. Takes down one. Lucky out of ammo. Same goes for Bondik, but the Lion moves in. As Bondik actually still with a Galil rather than an AK. And you'd expect him to maybe upgrade it as the Lion takes an XMS as well. He wanted to go for the push, but the Lion already pushed down towards Yellow Tarp, leaving only Nivera alive. And we dare to say he's going for a save on towards his AWP. As the bomb has now been planted, and 1v4, it seems not to be doable for either team.
I mean, yeah. Oh, Nivera, that's a good frag on Ellen there, though. Alien even there for a start, but I don't expect him to over-aggressively go for this, try and engage as he has that AWP. He's got armor, he's got a defuse kit, and he has that utility. So there's a serious amount of cash on him, you know. For Windstrike, he could be a bit of a walking pinata, I could almost say, but sadly for them, it looks like the pinata has grown legs and is actually running away. Although, now he's going closer. He really wants to go for those exit frags, but I hope for him he won't end up regretting that.
Well, he's still standing by in towards the CT spawn, possibly an angle not expected by the side of Windstrike as he's trying to move in ever so slightly just to stay safe. And the same goes for the Windstrike players. 3 more surviving. Bondik almost going down to the bomb, but almost is not completely. As we do now see their lead slightly increasing, with a buy, of course, to come in from the CT side. They have saved up for this, but they're spending almost everything they have.
Yeah, it's that's kind of the problem, you know, that with Heretics being on, well, or not having really achieved a lot of rounds yet in their first half. It's a bit of a shame because obviously they won't have a lot of reserves either. They didn't get a chance to really build them out just yet, whereas Windstrike, well, they've been able to buy again. They've got their rifles, AKs, etc. They've got utility to use. And I'd say also, you know, besides their utility and their equipment that they have right now, something that I've really been seeing from Windstrike is their just strong fragging power, you know. They've really been showing up. They can just get some really, really good opening frags. And once they've got those in their hands, it's almost a lost game already for Heretics.
The AWP of Nivera was actually peeking towards mid, but XMS also standing close by with the AUG. It's going to be a slow play from Windstrike so far, trying to attempt an A-take once more with a line moving through Yellow Tarp. There's no active contest coming down from the Heretic side. They're just setting Kiyoshima at this angle where Bondik usually gets a frag upon, as the line is already moving through. They're just clearing angles. They're staying, they're not anywhere to be found. However, now there will be a player coming in towards the back as Nickelback will go down. The line still standing on towards the side, but they're yet to frag. And they might be fragged soon as Lucky takes down a line as well with the Incendiary. Kiyoshima getting a slight tag, and look at the player slowly still moving in on towards that A ramp, that flank. Detrimental as now we see XMS with first frag. Wants to go for a second, he will get it as well. Leaving only Chris alive with a Yellow Tarp. And he's trying to at least get something in return, or maybe save his AK because they know this round is lost. And the time it is running low, meaning that this round will go in favor of Heretics. His nade will get close, but Kristen already falling back. Just waiting and knowing that a third round will go to the French's side.
And, I mean, deserved at that point, you know, like Windstrike, they, well, they didn't really pull it off there. They couldn't really find a good opening, and with that now, Heretics take the, well, upper hand, not just yet, but they do take a third round, and that might be vital for them. This is, once again, a bit of a stepping stone moment. They can convert this into more rounds, but they have to keep the pressure up on the Windstrike side of things. Because right now you can see that Windstrike, they don't really have a good economy. They have very, very little to really buy with. And they're going to force this through. Okay, okay. If you had 2 players...
You're a CIS team, dude.
Yeah, no,
what
yeah,
the hell
no,
are you expecting?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I would have preferred to see them force if they had, you know, like 2 weapons saved. Now you've still got to manage with those Deagles. You know, it's not even an SMG or anything of the sort. But maybe Alien here can get a lovely 1D. Nope, not quite. Nivera takes him out. He is tagged up a little bit. But it's not much more than that, and it's not really the start that you wish to see for Windstrike if they do decide to force out this round. And oh boy, that's dangerous.
Well, Maka has to fall back as the flash does come in. Nickelback now pushing through the area towards Kiyoshima's angle. Yet so far, no damage being dealt. Lucky will go low, however, as the nades are being thrown in, but they don't do anything. It's going to be Bondik once more with a Galil. As you said, it is a force buy coming in from Winstrike, trying to still force the issue on towards their opponents. Now the little bit of utility they have is being thrown out, and they try to get some control. Yet this time around, Heretics doesn't have a flanker, but they do have those nades to cancel the bomb plan to come in. That's one nade, that is two, and that should be the kill on towards Lackey, but he survives, and the bomb has been planted. Ooh. It is at 5-4, still a player lead for Heretics, still a Deagle on towards Lackey, still a Galil on towards Bondik. But it should have been an easy clear of that bomb plant. As Nickelback is actually now standing on towards Society, saying, I won't expect the players so close. Their flashes are coming in, and I'm standing by. First reaction to come. No, it's going to be Maka and Nivera both getting one of the AWP. Christian will get one in return before falling, and only Bondik alive once more in a clutch situation. He has to get the first frag. He gets his second as well. And they're tapping the bomb. He's still trying to play around, but now the time is actually running out. He just needs to kill the diffuser, and he's not really connected.
No
spray. He's not going for it. It's going to be Heretics winning the round in the end, and that was a little bit chaotic, to say the least.
Yeah, but if Bondik hadn't ran out of ammo there, and maybe I think he could have, if he had those 22 bullets the moment that they started defusing, I think if he'd had those 35 more, or perhaps an AK that dealt a little bit more damage, and his spray would have also maybe been a little bit tighter, because you did have that other player from Heretics there blocking him off. You can see it here as well, Got Navera there, he went up, and then that's the last 22. Make or break it.
So
he
sad.
Goes, shoots 22 away, shoots another 14 away, and 4, and there he ran out. I think if he'd had the 10 extra, and he could have connected his spray well enough.
But you can see him doubt as well, like, what's happening? Why doesn't he just shoot?
What's this?
I just reloaded. That's just 22 bullets, man. Yeah. And you can try your Glock, but he would have then also lost his life, so that's not really the best factor to go in upon.
I do wonder, though, like, when did he spray away so
many?
many?
Oh, he just pre-fires everything. There were so many smokes, and they're trying to at least hold back those CTs.
Of course.
I've had the same issue. Not with Galil, but with AK even. And you just spray down. That's also why, for a long time, I decided not to use the Science M4, because at a certain point, I believe you only had 3 max of those.
Yeah, and
I pre-fire everything. So that really messed me up. I couldn't do that.
They did luckily buff that one, You do get 25 bullets now. Of course, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much more, but it is a little bit more. But at the end of the day, I usually did play with that silenced M4.
Easier spray downs.
Easier spray downs, yeah. Easier recoil to control, but I've kind of stepped off that. Kind of realized, like, yeah.
More sound sounds cooler.
Well, yeah, more sound, but the M4A4 is just also stronger, really.
Makes you feel more like a man.
Yeah.
XMS standing by the AUG, also a manly weapon. Yeah, it does have a scope, so I'm not really sure about that.
Does having a scope, does that mean, so you wouldn't say that the AWP is like basically the pure raw energy?
Oh, that is. But, well, having a normal rifle with a scope, it just makes me feel a little bit sad. As Maka takes down Nickelback, and it's going to be the first frag for the side of Heretics. Nefera wants to get more, as XMS is still standing by right here behind the pillar, as they always do. You need to have an incendiary to get it out, but, well, the problem is there won't be any, as it is, of course, Nico. Nefera now with the follow-up frag. XMS trying to bait him out, but eventually he will get some frags in, make it a triple, and a 5th round for Heretics. Smooth sailing, easy going, and they're getting close to their opponents.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is Winstrike, their map pick, of course, the Vertigo coming in this time around. And it's interesting to really see, because, well, Winstrike, they started off with a really confident advantage, and in the past, the last time that they did play Vertigo, it was Heretics that took that advantage rather quickly from the start. They had that first half going 9-6 in their favor.
But they started on the C side back then.
Yeah, so I do wonder, like Heretics is struggling a bit more, it seems, on the CT side. Maybe now they can pull this back, make it an 8-7. That would be a very solid...
I think then they could really have a win.
Yeah.
Because Winstrike, their CT side, wasn't that strong last time around. They had 10 rounds on T, 6 on CT, and then SU 16 to win the match. 16-14 as well. Lucky standing by with his nades as the players are now moving in, and he spots them out with his teammate. From this, his teammate has now fallen himself as well. And that's a very clean entry coming in from the side of Winstrike. Nefera XMS, the only members alive, and as XMS will fall, Nefera once more will go for a save. As this will be that 8th round for Winstrike, at least they will have the lead after this first half, and Nefera will now possibly be flanked out. One player spotting him. Nickelback will take him out in the end indeed. That's going to be a clean round, pure round. And, well, if it weren't for the last 2 rounds now to come in, this economy would really help them in the rest of the half.
Absolutely, and I do now potentially. I could see double digits coming up here for Windstrike. Although Heretics has a full buy still going for them, it will depend on how this round goes. You know, obviously the 14th round of the first half, so we are basically about to go out of this first half and into the second. So if this doesn't go Heretics their way, then it should be a solid 2 extra rounds coming in for Windstrike. But it'll depend on if their entry is going to be as strong. Is one of the things. Oh dear.
That's
no,
awkward.
that's not a strong entry. That is not what I expect to see from you, Lackey.
It's
With that
especially
nade.
because XMS has played that position before, but last time around they weren't able to spot him out because he,
No.
when the smoke dissipated, moved to a different position. But that's so sloppy, so unnecessary as well.
They did refrag him immediately last time, and you know that didn't come here either because I believe, well, Lackey was a little bit all on his lonesome, wasn't he?
All by myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't wanna be losing this first half, but well, Heretics will be, as the AWP holds the angle towards, of course, Cement, and the line has that fancy Dragon Lore, investing in towards, of course, necessities if you do want to win.
It's the little things, you know. You gotta just get that Dragon Lore on there and get the frags because it just helps. It just does.
It makes you look cooler as Nickelback is moving up. That's the first frag coming in. Kiyoshima on towards his side will be fragged as well. It's going to be quite a big turnaround from the side of Windstrike. However, bomb is going towards B. Both Heretics players are trying to cover off A. And that's a little bit of a miscall, but of course being faked out quite easily by that T side. Bomb now to be planted, Nivera to be confused, as the line is also moving in with the AWP, but only be necessary. Yes, because Nivera gets a frag, and Nivera wants to go even deeper as he wants to save his AWP as well. He unscopes at the wrong time, will now be tagged down, and Bondek already on the rotate, making it 9-5, and as you said, double digits are a real possibility. Also now, Heretics not having too much money, this will be a very awkward force buy.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of armor, upgraded pistols, maybe one player with, like, I'd say an MP9 or something, but I think even that is too bold. I don't think that they'll be able to afford that. Because they're going to have to also figure out who to put maybe at least one diffuse get. You don't want to take the risk that if you do get the diffuse or the opportunity to diffuse, oh no, never mind. I'm being too demanding.
You always are.
Yeah, the diffuse kit is just too much.
But sometimes you just have more value in your utility to at least make it happen. As we do see the MP9 on towards Mecca, again trying to contest mid, but the problem is XMS is already fallen. Grison going for that B take, and there's nobody standing by anymore. It's going to be Maka falling as well to Bonding, holding down the flank, and he's still holding the flank. As the rest of the players from the Heretic side will be pushing through a ramp, and will soon come in towards his angle. Will his barrel be showing? Not as of yet. And thus he stays alive. However, now I think they have seen him. Now they have to move in, and they get one frag, but still, that's one AK. Against, of course, 4 full bolt rifles on the side of Windstrike, and there's still a volley from the Lion. He can throw it on towards the B stairs. But they do want to get those frags, so they're just not going to bother because Lucky just peeks in.
Oh, there it is.
Frag. There might be another coming in. That's actually an instant here from the Heretics side. As still the Molly was in the pocket of a Lion.
Oh.
10-5. A very good half so far for the T side. The exact same half they did in their previous T side against Heretics.
And that is a solid advantage for Windstrike to really start out on now. I do wonder though what that well, what their CT side is going to give. If they're going to be able to just play that out cleanly and swiftly, or if
they're going to drop a nuke.
Oh, nice. If Heretics maybe though, you know, could happen that they just really feel the T side today and that they feel a little bit, well, aggressive, I suppose, and that they can use that because at times Windstrike, and this is something that, you know, in the past that I've last time when we saw this match, they also wrote down about them, is that their site takes can be really good, but they just don't always kind of really connect, you know. Like so most of the times they do succeed and they just take a site with like this triple kill boom from the get-go from like 2 people from the Windstrike side. But if they don't succeed in that, then it's very likely that they've lost their attempt. They've just lost 2 team members and they pretty much don't stand a chance anymore.
While we're waiting for the second half to start, we do see that, especially Lecky, and of course Nickelback and Bondek just really pulling the card for the Windstrike team, getting entries, just pushing through time and time again. But as you said, the CT side might be different. You don't get as much maneuverability. And maybe they will have the same problem that Nemiga sometimes has, and that is over-aggressing every now and then. And we're waiting, of course, now to start. We had Kiyoshima disconnecting. That's, of course, also a mental strain on towards the side of Heretics. And maybe this time around they can bring it back. Of course, they really need to be strong with their openings. And XMS, once more, the top fragger, as he has been so far in that Group A.
Absolutely, and XMS, I'd say XMS really a good play to keep paying attention to. Nivera, though, also coming in pretty close. I'd say if there are two players that have to highlight on the Heretic side, it would be those two. You know, XMS, he can really get some really good shots in, some really strong frags. But Nivera as well, you know, give him that AWP and he will rock your world at times.
Even with just an AK, he can rack up kills after kills after kills. But, well, so far they're not really doing that. And maybe on their T side they can at least win the pistol and get something going for themselves. They seem to have a lovely train going towards the B side, where they now will throw some utility as well. Like he's standing by onto his side, will try to tap it out, but so far no real kills coming in, just a little bit of damage. Flashes, however, coming in from the Winstrike side as well, will at least delay a little thing, as like he's still alive, gets one frag before falling. Nivera with a follow-up on towards Grison as well. Leaves XMS close by at that unit. Move in. It's going to be XMS with yet another frag of his own. Tries to go for more. A 2-on-4 ensues with Winstrike. Not actually having the kit in their hands at this moment in time. Not really sure whether it was dropped. As Nickelback tries to tap it out with P2K, but he loses his teammate. 1v4, trying to get at least one frag. You can't make it happen. XMS with a double, Nivera with a triple. And now a pistol round going in favor of the French side. And that's vital. They need to have this pistol, of course, one, and then the follow-up as well, to at least get things going. But we have to say, the last time around, these teams played each other a week ago, on Vertigo. The first pistol, just like it went this time, went in favor of Winstrike. Then the second was won by Heretics. Yet the force buy from Winstrike was too strong to actually go up against.
Oh, and that is a potential risk that we'll see again. You know, it is interesting to see if it's going to just repeat itself. Not in the sense that, you know, it's not like I'm banking on it to happen. You know, I don't want to see it happen because I always like things going differently, but it would be a bit of a worrying result, and it would also be kind of oddly fitting, I guess.
Are you saying change is good?
Change is good sometimes.
Oh, indeed it is. As we do see Mecha being tagged up by the scout as he does jump by a line. Still trying to go a little bit more aggressive because he already knows he has a tag and he wants to finish off the player he just started upon. However, the bomb will now rotate towards that B side. Smokes to be deployed from the CT side, just to delay it for the time being. And now they actually go rather aggressive. They know the push is coming. They are going to stand close. And will this fall hazard actually be a hazard for Heretics once more? Kristen with the opening frag. That's one on towards Nivera, and they won't be expecting the players to stand this close, I would imagine. As Lackey still standing there, waiting for the player to move in. Nades to come in quite deep on towards side. It could be a kill towards Grayson, but he still survives. Lackey still standing by. He will get a first frag onto him. As Nickelback now behind the pillar tries to get something in return, but the Backdates are just too quick, too strong. And only a line is alive with his scout, and I would dare to say you can save this for another round. Unless if you can just get an entry for yourself. He won't be trying it, he'll just be trying to save. And that means we have a 7th round going in favor of Heretics.
Yeah, and with that now, Heretics trying to sort of bridge the gap between these two teams. You know, they've got now the 7th round in, as you say, and 3 rounds are left for them to get. We'll see now if they can bring it over to that equalizer. And, well, I do want to believe, I do want to see it happen for Heretics, and it would be a solid start for them to this match if they can actually win their opponent's map pick. Because, of course, Winstrike, they picked Vertigo. But so far, they've still got some work ahead of them. You know, they might get this 8th round as well due to the fact that Winstrike's economy is just not going to be existent. And case in point, that is, well, just not really the best. And Heretics, with that, got a solid chance at the 8th round. And then there's only 2 more that they have to get. That's doable. That is likely. But, of course, still have to see it to believe it.
Well, it seems as if Heretics is at least getting some momentum for themselves, and they just need to get a few more rounds. Now, there will be that eco coming down from Winstrike. However, some pistol upgrades to come in, and still it's Scout and Armor for a line who managed to not open the score, but at least do some damage in the previous round. Pressure to come in on towards B. Lucky will go down, but it's going to be Nivera standing by for a frag. Nickelback also biding his time, waiting for Nivera to maybe fall in indeed. Nivera will get a double of his own. Yet it won't be enough to at least hold off Nickelback even longer. AK now picked up, and actually the scout also still in play for a Lion. It's going to be Kiyoshima trying to get a flank in, and he will eventually divide the team into two. The Lion being spotted out and also falling to the before mentioned player. 2 more rounds to separate these teams, yet we do now see that full buy come in from Winstrike.
Yep, absolutely, and that's going to also be the chance for Winstrike to now come back on this. You know, they can now say, okay, fine. So we may have just given you a couple of rounds, but that was just a temporary setback. You know, you've gotten those 3 rounds in this second half, the first ones, but you did that in the... actually, no, I believe it was Winstrike that did that in the first half, never mind. Point being, Winstrike perhaps thinking, fine, you know, we can't get the first rounds in every half, but we'll catch up later. Let's see if they can actually do that now. Utility flying out, preventing a potential Heretics push on, obviously, this, well, a ramp position. Further mollies flying in. Got to make sure that cement is mollied off. You don't want to play too sharp from there. Will always be a nasty surprise. Oh, there's a solid attempt at a wallbang there, but it doesn't quite hit the mark. It is just a little bit above them. And they do get a certain answer thrown right back at them.
Kiyoshima will get the opening frag on towards Chris, and a wallbang headshot to come in, and that's at least the opener in favor of Heretics. They have taken a lot of damage, so that might really grind them down later on. But there isn't really much utility for the side to work with. Bomblik now also trying to pre-fire around. So far not really finding a frag of his own. It's going to be just a very slow push. The bomb will go towards the A ramp, and the executes soon to follow. How many players are standing here? 3 actually from the side of Winstrike, only 1 towards mid rather than B. And the last player is now moving further in towards B, a little bit scared that there might be a push coming. Yeah, the push is coming all the way across the map, all towards Lucky. And of course his ramp position, smoke to come in. Will they expect the player to be that close? Or is this actually a fake? Because they're slowing things down, but they really need to move. Look at the time. 25 seconds, they have to go for the execute. It's going to be the first frag for Nickelback. Eventually it will still be a player lead in favor of Heretics. And the Lion is also moving from a different position, trying to get an angle with his AWP. So far it just doesn't work out. And even the planter gets away safely.
And look at that, Bondik, he's already on his last 25 bullets.
Oh no, it happens again as he now goes down towards Maka. Lucky moving up with the AUG, but there's a player in towards ramp as well. It seems as if Winstrike has already called the save. That AWP and AUG just too wealthy and of course too important to lose in towards a fight which is way in the advantage of the French side. Frag, no, he actually misses, and XMS takes him down. Lucky now might want to move up and save that AWP, or at least that would be his target, yet he's now also spotted out. Gets a frag. There's still a few more players trying to hunt him down. He's going to fall eventually to Kiyoshima, already moved past through the B stairs, bringing it to just 1 round of difference. And Heretics, they're looking strong.
Absolutely. Right now, they need just 1 more indeed. And I see that happening because, you know, Winstrike, once again, their buy is mediocre. They don't really have proper reserves. And I do believe by the looks of things, they're just going for pistol armor, really, to the best of their possibilities to try and save up for that next round coming up. And indeed, here you can see it. Deagles and CZs, or CZs, as you would say.
CZZZZ.
Like a bee.
Yeah, just like a bee, indeed. Fly by the butterfly, sting like a bee. Go and see Nifera just throw in his incendiary so far. Real damage being dealt. There's a player falling towards him, but Nickelback 2-1 bigs coming in. And there might be more to follow. XMS is biding his time, waiting for the push, but they have recovered 2 AKs. They're quite happy on the Winstrike side. Now they might get a little bit of overloaded towards that A side. As
no way.
Lion, how do you actually get those kills? Drops 2 players, drops the bomb, will get a molly in, and Maka tries to move through and falls, of course, because just 1 tag by him sneaking through the molly will still work. That's a comeback and a half for Winstrike, now a round ahead more. And also maybe destroying the economy for the side of Heretics, also possibly destroying their emotional momentum, because they were feeling quite well. But look at this, just a first kill to come in, a little bit of a cheeky wallbang in the end, and Kiyoshima not able to respond in time, dropping the bomb as well. And Winstrike, how can you be, I dare to say this, lucky?
Yeah.
And Heretics, how can you play that out so badly?
I was just going to say, you know, I say lucky because they got some really good deagle shots, you know, like, has to be said that Heretics there was a little bit out-fragged. But Winstrike at the same time, I don't think they expected it to go that well. Nickelback now, though, overextending, being far too aggressive on the day ramp, and his spray down being completely unsuccessful, allowing Lucky to get the frag on him. whilst another one of his teammates has also gone down in the meantime.
Zeal's cool attempt of trying to get a reset upon your opponents, but well, nowadays with the economy, it doesn't really work. So Winstrike, if they do save these rifles, if they would go for it, they would be able to still rebuy, because I think they're still on the max loss bonus. Losing 4, then winning 1, losing 1 more, still has you that 4-round loss bonus for yourself. That would at least grant him some money. Mecha now going low as he does not manage to get the frag onto Word Grison, who still wants to go for a repeat because, well
why
he's
not?
greedy like that.
It's Grison, so he likes his repeats, he likes trying again, and in the meantime, Lackey goes down. That's not so lucky for him, the player that we're looking at right now. And we'll see if Grison can hold it off, but absolutely not. XMS says bish bash bosh and frags him out. Now leaving only a Lion, and I'd say that, well, he will now probably be crying.
Oh, that's a very good rhyme as Kiyoshima is standing close by, but he's not really doing too much. Oh, you're even doing
doing
cool
like
signs as if you're that real cool guy, as a Lion will indeed fall towards Kiyoshima. And, well, that was just an expected play to come in. Winstrike being cleaned out, and now, well, they do have some money on some players. They could go for a force. Would it really be that good of an idea? I'm not too sure. And I think pistol armor would maybe work out, but they're forcing. They are going for it, RJ.
Although you did have, I think it was a
3
Lion.
players with a lot of money.
Yeah, I believe it was a Lion who had a 7k there at one point. So I think this is actually
Decent buy.
That's actually
One drop
a pretty
to
good
come
buy.
in and an MP9 on towards Grison.
even a defuse kit. And I like to see that. You know, don't be a loser, buy a diffuser. We all know the famous rhyme. And
I know another one as well, but I can't say that one.
Aw. You can
whisper it into your ears
I
later. I
whisper it
will.
into my ears later.
It's going to be XMS just trying to contest around this yellow tarp. Almost being taken out if they just hit it a little bit better. But a molly will come in as well. Lucky now going for a push on towards B stairs. Gets one and of course falls back towards the side. No problem whatsoever. Only 19 HP. Still enough to work with. As Heretics at least still have the bomb themselves. As this time around it wasn't peeking a little bit too aggressively.
We'll see now if Strike here do turn this into their own round, although with Maka throwing a frag back at them. That makes it a 4v4 now. This is tempting, and Nico back here. He can put down good ult, but at the same time he has kind of whiffed it in the past. And now this Kristen comes in with a rather swift refrag, makes it the 2v3 show. But it is still dangerous, you know. This could go Heretics' way in a moment, and indeed, if Kiyoshima's frag is on point...
Oh, but they're not expecting a second player to be there. Bombik is still standing by, and he is on full HP. He will be king at the first frag. No, he will be flashed out by Lecky. That's quite unfortunate. Leaving only Lecky alive on 1v2. First frag coming in towards Kiyoshima. Maka standing by, going low. Still a frag and round for Heretics, having that equalizer. And they took their sweet time.
Oh, absolutely, you know, and, well... You can say, you know, good things come to those who wait, or plenty of things about time, you know. Some good things take time. And we'll see now if that also means that Heretics just needed to take a bit of time to grab the advantage on their T side now. And if they're going to further out, play this out, we can see that pistol armor again on Windstrike. And who knows? They've made that pistol armor work in the past quite clearly, so maybe they'll just do that again.
I'm hoping that Windstrike won't just be saying KZ Akata. Maybe it will be, but they just need to get some frags in for themselves. Lucky, but the first frag on towards Nivera will be exchanged by XMS, as none of his teammates was actually helping him out. For a pistol armor, you might want to play a little bit even more close-knit on the CT side, because you really want to get the trades in. As there will be a jump from Nickelback, he will get, well, some of that back in a bullet from Maka. Meaning we now have still that M4 Bondik, but a very terrible round. Bondik actually forcing in towards this one, as it will be a line also not being able to commit on towards the frag. And the B side now actually gained by the side of Heretics. It will deal damage on towards XMS, as he's going to stand close by. He should get a double spray down, however. Lion now with 1 kill in return. 3 more to find, but of course Maka will be standing by. Those bodies laying there so romantically, but we do know that the real romance is in this comeback of Heretics.
Absolutely.
You feeling the love tonight?
I'm feeling, you know, that also them being a French team, you know, like the language of love and all that, you know, the whole ballpark, the entire what did they say? You know, the full 9 miles. Or
The full
something.
Monty.
The full Monty. But we'll see though if they can keep this up now. Also, I heard you speaking more Spanish, but are you feeling a bit reminiscent to Team Queso, who are sadly?
See.
Yeah.
Of course, this was their group, and I love them so much.
I
the
know.
cheese in their logo, the cheese in their game.
Well,
Unfortunately, it didn't really gain too much fame. It's XMS with the opening frag on towards Nickelback, and he will get another one on towards a Lion. That means that, well, he won't be roaring anymore, meaning we now have a 5-2-3 situation, and Heretics can just slow it down right now. Just wait for a mistake to be made on that CT side as bomb. They can just with an MP9, not really a force to be reckoned with. Now a player going towards the frag on Prison. There will be a trade coming in, and they just need to trade. It's the only thing they need to do. Like he's alive, and most likely trying to save his AWP once more.
I mean, it's understandable because the AWP, it is such a heavy investment, so you don't want to lose that, but it does mean that Heretics now get their 13th round, and they're starting to get a bit close, you know. Once this one's over, and Windstrike, they...
Here's Kiyoshima.
Oh, boy.
He always goes for the hunt, so Lackey should know this. Every time they have the plant on towards the day side, and he expects a save to come in, he's instantly running here. Naka sitting by with his AWP, and of course Deagle. Kiyoshima there for a refrag, and I think it's more valuable for the side of Heretics to get a kill despite the player dying, because they have the reserves, and that's something we can't say about Windstrike.
No, exactly. It's you can see it as well on the players. Maka, they started out this round with $11,500, so no financial concerns for them whatsoever. And here, once again, you did see, you know, for a moment, there was a chance, I dare say, rather swiftly got taken away by XMS and how well he opened up that round. We'll see now if Heretics can continue this, if they can now make this the 14th round, and after that, pretty sensibly, I dare say, the 15th. Considering that if Windstrike is going to force this out, I'm not sure that they might try and go for another pistol upgrade or something, or maybe a little bit of utility there. Actually, I don't know. Would you agree with me if I said pistol armor again?
Oh, yes.
Oh, but that's...
There's no real reason to heavily invest in towards this round. You know that you don't really have a good chance here. You know that there might be a very good shot at Heretics going towards a 14th. But if they go to 14th, you can still come back with your full buy and even force a regular win.
I do see full Deagles though.
Yeah, of course.
If
go wild.
If we see a double, you know, double kill coming in again, could become Windstrike's round in the matter of seconds. But they do have to really pull that off. And for now, Nickelback, he's pushing up aggressively again, but that doesn't work out for him. It didn't work out last time, and he gets punished for it again. Another flash coming in. Maka now giving XMS a quick opportunity to peek in, but Maka,
look at his HP.
Yep. He's low, but he did just see the player. Kiyoshima here, spray down his real XMS in the meantime, takes out Bondic, and Krisen, last man standing. He is holding off A-Ramp valiantly, I dare say, but
they do get the dings just
all
the time through the wall, and that doesn't really help them all too well. Kiyoshima, of course, still on because that's the only thing he does apparently in this map so far, and Ifera steals the frag. I'd smack them. Like, stealing the frag after already wasting so much bullets on there, you brought him so low, and then Ifera chimes in like, oh, hello, that's mine.
My frag now.
Mine?
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 Let's see, though, if Heretics can also call this map, well, theirs or mine, depending on how you look at it from which perspective, because they are 2 rounds away from getting this map in their hands. And quite honestly, I can definitely see this going Heretics' way, but if that's the case, then I very, very much worry about Nuke, because Nuke is not a positive outlook for Windstrike in the slightest. See the Nickelback peeks in here, he goes for the spray, but the second kill isn't there. Bondic in the meantime can take XMS out thanks to that volley.
He was standing in the fire for a very long time. Kiyoshima will be able to get a refrag, but Nivera almost died himself there. That's a little bit concerning, but still 2 on 3. It's doable. As long as you don't stop believing. However, Lion is standing by, and he's really having a feeling. Oh, that's a flick from Maka, almost the one they gone towards a Lion. That could have turned around. That could have really meant that Heretics had a chance. He's now trying to fake the bomb, trying to move in on towards a Lion with a deagle in hand, but a Lion has swapped away from that AWP, now picking up the AK. And Maka should know, he's saying, wait, there's an AWP here. It's a clue! And now he's trying to move, not towards yellow, but to blue.
We'll see. He is pushing up on yellow top now, but Mac is just going to go towards the B bomb site altogether.
Oh, he's agreeing with me.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah, he
Maka,
likes the little,
he will get a plan because the players of Winstrike will be grouping up, as would be the most sensible thing to do. Now with the AWP, still a nade and a molly as well. There's a very good chance.
Yep, he can just play to delay pretty much, you know, let that bomb tick down. And I don't see a defuse kit on either of these players as well, so that is also not in their favor. That means that they're going to have to act fast, and if Mako even gets one critical frag here, that could just as easily mean that that is not the defuse coming in for Heretics. Oh, and... oh, that is... Oh, that nade. Is this going to be the one? Yes,
Touchdown!
it is.
It's a Lion now in a
Kobe.
1v1, and he's behind that smoke, trying to tap the bomb as well. But look at the time, he doesn't have a kit. And that means the round will go in favor of Heretics. And Maka, he's going for the exit frag, but he will most likely die to the explosion, unless if he's quick as Sonic. He is.
He is.
15-11.
But
Heretics will win the round.
Oh, seriously though, you know, it was a 2v1, and, you know, Winstrike, they actually got the advantage rather quickly in that round, but in the end, it was completely lost. You know, they had those two players, and they just, I guess they kind of decided to both come from that stairs position. If one had come from mid, they would have been able to surprise him.
Yeah,
but
it's always easier if you just go for a group effort. And
oh, yeah,
this
of course.
touchdown from Alexia was just too great, and from that point onwards, they didn't have any time. And I can understand you throwing that smoke, but it could have been just a little bit deeper. Just used, of course, some more utility, because I believe they still had one more smoke, which was thrown on towards the bomb, but you could make a smoke screen itself. It's Winstrike now up against it. Thereby, well, they're decent. They have that AK, they have that M4, 2 MP9s, quite some utility, and now Nate going on towards possibly a player. No, it goes off the map.
To the side. But let's see if, well, the rest of the utility in both teams, their hands are going to be used well, because Winstrike gone through quite a lot of the utility. X-Mas opens up the side here. Chrism can't hold it off. This might just be it. This could be already the first map going in Heretics their way. And by the looks of it, it most certainly will be. I do not see Nickelback here getting the ace out of him. I would love to see it happen, but it's not quite likely as he goes to the engagement here. 4v... Nope, indeed, 4v1. He doesn't win. Heretics get the 16th round, and with that, they can claim Vertigo to be theirs. And now, you would say, well played by Heretics. But the problem here is that this was Winstrike's map pick. So the pressure was on them to actually win this now, and they didn't. They didn't win this, I'd say, in the slightest. You know, there's still a 5-round disadvantage that they had towards the end there, 16-11. Now going on to Nuke, I just said it as well, you know, when we were getting close to that 16th round for Heretics, I worry, you know, Heretics has that nice 69% win rate on Nuke, but Winstrike, they've got a 12% win rate over 8 maps. That is not good in the slightest. That is just mediocre at best. That means they only won one time in those eight maps that they played.
My big issue for Winstrike so far is that they just can't get rounds on the CT side. This time around, they only got one. Last time around, they played on a Nuke against the side of Heretics. Also only one. Despite being 13-2 ahead, they lost it. They messed it up. It's going to be quite hard, and, well, we'll be going to Nuke and see if it will be that 2-0 in favor of Heretics, or if Winstrike will still be able to bring it back. We're going to a short break. When we're going to come back, of course, it's all to play for. Who will be the #1 seed? Who will be second and not get the bonus money? We'll find out after the break. Will we have the quickest day ever here on the Final GG Legends series, or will it be a free mapper at all? Heretics taking on Windstrike. Winning the map pick of Windstrike was Heretics 16-11. Now we're going to Nuke. And last time around, we saw some struggles with Windstrike on their CT side here. We just saw that before, so why wouldn't it happen again?
Absolutely, you know, it's, well, Nuke that we're going into now, and I already said this just now, you know, as we were ending that first map. Nuke does not look favorable for Team Windstrike in the slightest. It's worrying, it's disturbing, you know. I think that this could very easily be very quickly played out by Team Heretics, and it would definitely be the quickest day that we've had so far. Obviously, you know, this is a bit of a catch-up day. Normally, we would have had a break now. It's not the end of the world. We do like casting ever so much. And now it is just this Group A Grand Final that we're seeing being played out here. But Team Heretics could make this a rather swift ending now, because due to the fact that the first map, which was Windstrike's pick, which was Vertigo, went to Team Heretics with 16-11. A pretty convincing score, I dare say, and I think you'll agree with me on that. And now I'm looking at Nuke here, and I'm looking at the statistics, and I'm anticipating, you know, like 16-6. Do you want to throw out a quick, like, prediction there? What
it depends. If Windstrike starts on their CT side, it might be a very easy map for Heretics because, well, their CT side is just awful. It sounds mean, but we've seen it as well here on Vertigo. They've won one round against the 11 on the side of Heretics. We go back to the last time they played. Nuke, 12-3 scoreline on the T side of Windstrike. They've only won one round against the 13 in a row for Heretics. That's really hurtful because Windstrike even won that piss on their CT side. That's the only round they won on that CT side. And they just lost after that. I'm not really sure where it's lacking. It's maybe just Heretics being able to refrag better and possibly also get those opening kills. Windstrike really needs to play more as a unit, use their utility better, and hopefully also manage their economy, because that's something we've also seen them struggle with slightly.
Yeah, to be fair, I do think that, like, Windstrike, they can also open up pretty well. They can get the frags, they can get that synergy going, and just really just decide to go onto a side, on their T side, boom, 3 kills in their favor, and the side is taken in pretty much the entire round already. They do have that in them, you know, they can get that momentum, they can actually perform like that, but it just doesn't look like they'll be pulling that off now, because, like Nuke, the previous result was 16-13 in favor of Team Heretics, so I don't know what Windstrike is going to be able to actually do differently here to show that they can beat out, you know, Team Heretics. Like, honestly, I'd say with how they've performed just now on Vertigo, like, that is a worse result. It was closer last time, and now they've just shown that they are a little bit less in shape. You know, they're not even as in form as we expected them to be. It's maybe as if, you know, they kind of woke up and they didn't do their exercise in the morning, aren't feeling it, aren't really, you know, awoken. They aren't just fit, and it's a shame because it looks like, well, that could make it a rather swift 2-0. That means that I convinced you of maybe the wrong thing, but at least that's good for my ego.
I was just talking to the production guys, and they told me I shouldn't have never listened to you, because you are not the man to trust when it goes to betting. I did way better than you, and whenever you say, "Oh, you can just go a little bit higher, you can do this," they'll win.
It's like
this.
the devil on your shoulder.
Yeah, it's
you
like,
know?
"Oh, there's no problem," and then nope. It just goes wrong every time.
Oops. But hey, who knows? Maybe it'll be a reverse. Maybe Windstrike will just be like, "Oh, you want our map pick? Well, then we're gonna win yours." You know, like.
Well, that could be, because of course Windstrike was able to post that 12-3 scoreline on their T side, and that means their T side is pretty well versed. However, they really need to prove on that CT side they can actually win a few rounds, and on the previous map they showed they couldn't. And that's really worrying. They really need to get those opening kills, need to get a follow-up, and maybe then they will be able to at least win some more rounds. And I'm curious to see if they do win the knife, if they will go to the T side or the CT side, because so far it seems as if Windstrike might be the only team to actually start on that offensive side.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, I think it's a bit of a waiting game as well. You know, see how the knife round goes. If the knife round goes in favor of at least Windstrike, then they've got a sort of advantage. You know, they could actually start out on that T side. You know, like you put it, they could actually get their momentum that way. Although I would still expect them to go for the CT side. You know, makes sense on Nuke, and I'd hope that they then, you know, if they start out over there, that they feel a bit more comfortable and that they can actually sort of at least get the needed minimum 6-7 rounds, I dare say.
Yes.
You would actually hope for an advantage, but seeing as it is Windstrike, we have to keep that in mind. We have to keep in mind that they aren't really the most, well, CT-sided team. You know, they have that aggressiveness, they have that momentum and speed that they really can apply sometimes. And I feel with that, you know, they will kind of shine out in the T side, but they still have to put down a good enough CT side, because otherwise, well, if there is going to be that halftime switch, Heretics will just say, oh, but we're on the CT side now. This is our comfortable playing ground. And this is Nuke. We have a way better win rate on it than you guys do. I see this. There's a 57% difference in the win rate. 69% for Team Heretics and 12% for Winstrike. And that is just not good. That is a serious and massive difference.
That's a very scary thing so far for Winstrike to go up against. If they do manage to win this, we'll go to Dust 2. And that's more of an equal playing field, because we have 16% on towards Winstrike win rate and 50% over on towards Heretics. Both played 10 times the past 3 months according to IHL TV. So then I wouldn't really know for sure who would win, but then I would maybe still favor Heretics on the long run.
Yeah, I think that would be the sensible decision. Although they are that 10% win rate lower, I think, Heretics, they can just kind of preserve that momentum better and keep it in their ballpark more. And just with that kind of show, Winstrike that they are in the end maybe the better team here, and that they do deserve, that 1,000 euros extra for being the Group A winners. And of course that better spot, in the playoffs.
Well, let's see how it will play out. Your prediction is quite convincingly in favor of Heretics still?
Oh, definitely. I'm still going to go for that. I'm going to go for like 16-10 at most.
Ooh.
At the very most. I'm sorry, but that win rate.
Painful.
Yeah, that win rate to me on Nuke. Like, I don't expect Winstrike to show up on Nuke all of a sudden. They haven't done that in the past, so why would they do that now?
I mean, you could also say Heretics on their CT side was also a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, no, that's right. I can't argue that. You're very much true, and you can see it as well. The 3-12 result, as you put it, with of course Winstrike they getting to start on that CT side, so or on that T side even. It is a problem perhaps, but I feel like Team Heretics that they've also had the time advantage. They've also been able to learn from that. They've known for a few days now that it's going to be Nuke that they're facing off on. So let's just go now. Let's see what this knife round turns into. Who gets the advantage from that? And then from there on out, maybe take it, round by round. If Winstrike can get a decent advantage going, then all they might need to do is just extend that advantage into their second half and play it out well enough. But if they can't get the knife round, then oh dear, I am filled with fear.
Oh, the first knife goes in favor of Winstrike, as it is actually a clean kill, with players trying to jump up and the T's just moving in. It's Maka and XMS to bring something in return, make that a few more, but eventually the knife will go to Winstrike. And now we will be actually wondering, will they stay on the T side or will they go to CT? Because they themselves should know as well that their CT side has not really been too great, but they do go for it. They do want to play on the theoretically favored side and hopefully prove us wrong with our prediction.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what you always hope for, and well, you hope to see that with that Winstrike can at least kind of upset it a little bit, that they can show like, okay, Heretics, we've learned. We've seen our mistakes. We've realized,
adapted.
Yeah, we've adapted. We've improved, most importantly. So let's see if that can actually be the case, if they can actually pull that off. Because otherwise, well, then I do see this sadly being a rather swift 2-0 for Heretics in their favor. But we'll have to see. Perhaps, just perhaps, it could be that Winstrike does come back on this, that they do actually put down a very decisive and very good CT side, and otherwise, then so be it, and I dare say that it would be that 2-0 for Heretics after all.
Well, the USP's in hand, most likely a P2K or 2. And indeed, it will be Nickelback just picking up that pistol a little bit different than the rest of his team. Do you prefer the USP or the P2K? Well, we'll find out later on, as we do see that A-Rush coming down from the side. Heretics, they go in quite quickly. That's 3 frags already, and most likely, I dare to say, the pistol round. So you're also a USP guy?
Yeah, definitely. I just like tapping away with the USP, getting those clean headshots, and it's satisfying.
Do you ever take the silencer off?
Very, very rarely. Almost never.
I only do it on ecos, just to make people be confused,
to
because you
with
barely hear that sound ever. As well, Maka is still trying to hunt down because it's already the save coming in from Winstrike, and Heretics is knowing that. And they're saying, well, we could deal some damage. That's maybe the first frag on towards the line. He's now really low. One tap could do it. And still they're trying to struggle, and there will be 2 free frags actually coming in from the side of Winstrike, but of course they don't have any time to go for that, of course, defuse. Lion standing by, to go for another one, but he will fall in the end. So they do succeed with their chase on the side of Heretics, and of course they do succeed on winning that pistol round.
And with that now, we'll see with Heretics getting the first round. They'll get a bit of a momentum going now as well. If they, I'm ghastly afraid for Winstrike, to be quite honest. If now Heretics can actually get a couple of rounds in, they get that, I'd say, make it 4 or 5 rounds now again, which is what we saw in the previous one as well. We saw that same result where... Actually, nope, that's wrong. I'm lying. It was Winstrike that got 5 rounds in. So if now it gets turned around, then my faith will be completely lost in Winstrike, sadly enough. The Vi.GG odds are also definitely no longer in their favor. You can see the 5.33 there, which means that Winstrike is really not looking too good for this match. They do update in real time, but Heretics, they go quickly, swiftly, and decisively take the bomb site.
Well, they're just rolling through right now with, of course, those mech 10s to really help their momentum. That's a very clean anti-force bind from the side of Heretics, now playing up against an eco from the Winstrike side. You would imagine, most likely, that those mech 10s will get more frags, will get more money, and Heretics here, they will be extending their lead slowly but steadily, and they're doing well so far. They just need to, of course, hold on to this, because the moment Winstrike actually gets rounds for themselves, there might be a trouble. Because so far, we've seen that Winstrike isn't too great on the CT side. I'll just count for you how many rounds they've actually gotten on all their CT sides. In the first map, of course, a week ago, they actually got only 1 in the first map, of course, as now some frags will be exchanged. I still see this go to Heretics. The second map, Vertigo, we did see 6 rounds go in.
Oh, okay, now that is not the performance that we're used to from you. Because Lucky, this is you've got a Mach 10. A Mach 10 is not a long-range weapon, buddy.
Oh, it can be if you believe, RJ.
Oh, but still, Lucky, he does get mollied out of heaven. That is a solid molly there. That is going to grant Heretics some extra time to play with. And it's going to be down to Kiyoshima to make sure that Heaven stays in control. The rest of his team can, of course, keep Main and Hut covered.
Oh, no.
Oh, Lucky, this could work for him. Yes, it does.
God, that's an AK as well.
It's a clean 1 dig and an AK indeed going into Lucky's hands. I don't think they're going to contest this anymore, but...
well, they can't, but at least it's some damage already being dealt. And Chrisen, he now knows where the last player is that he might actually steal an AK from. As Kiyoshima is trying to move in towards CT, he will, and he will be safe for now. But just going back on those CT rounds.
Yes.
First map last week, 1. Second map, 6. That's quite decent. But of course, it was their own map pick, so not really. Then on towards the third map, they were able to get 6 once more. And usually you'd say you want to have an advantage after your CT side.
Yeah,
and in the last map as well, we just saw Vertigo. 1 round on the CT side against the 11 of Heretics on their T side. They're just really getting destroyed. And if they don't start getting something soon, all is lost, maybe.
All is lost. Oh.
Great nade as we see Chrisen go for the Mech 10 spray. He will go down as well as his teammate, Lion, with 1 kill in return. Sexmas will be tagged by moving through a molly. He's trying to flank things out, but will be held on to by Kiyoshima and RJ. It's getting quite quickly out of hand.
Yeah, these are swift rounds as well, absolutely. Bomb is already down. Heretics are really, really decisively playing on that T side, and Winstrike just don't really seem to be able to handle that, I'm afraid.
Well, some tapping coming through, a line just trying to go for some exit frags, but I dare to say that Heretics at this moment in time is just going to say, well, they can have those weapons, we will have some economy, and we'll have the 4-0 lead. I do like that, yes.
That is quite exquisite. But now let's see if those 2 rifles preserved for Winstrike can make a difference in the next round. It's a shame for them because obviously it does mean that Heretics are now already 4 rounds ahead in a rapid pace as well, I dare say. And it makes me wonder, it makes me look ahead at the rest of this, first half. And with Heretics getting such a solid start, with Heretics being 1 map ahead, with Heretics having a way better win rate on this map than Winstrike does, I wonder when the wins are going to effectively start coming in for Winstrike. We'll have to see, of course. They've got a solid enough buy now. You've got proper rifles on everyone and that AWP coming in for Alien. So let's see if that AWP can actually come in clutch, get a frag where needed, although I assume he's on outside and he won't be getting to use that one so much just now. Lackey, though, could push through here. Going to be coming up on radio.
Oh, he might see the beat.
Yep, he's
doesn't really.
No.
I think it's just a normal pre-fire. Lecky will fall back, but will still get a smoke back on towards Mecca. Opening kill now for Winstrike. It is maybe happening, as there are still players. Oh,
Okay.
actually, the bomb dropped as well. And he hears that drop sound, I do believe. So he's standing by, fakes his reload, still wants to remain there. But as the smoke will dissipate, he will, of course, also dissipate from the position.
Very well pushed, I do say.
Thank you.
Thanks. Let's see, though, if Winstrike now can convert this two-man advantage that they have into an actual round win. That is, of course, for them now the prime goal, because they have a little bit of catching up to do. And so far, it's definitely been going in favor of Heretics. You can already see a little bit of reserves on the players on the Heretics side that are still alive. And even if they could possibly say, you know, screw this, we're not gonna keep trying, we're not gonna actually try anymore, which I highly doubt, then they would still be able to rebuy, I believe.
Kyoshima now moving up with his team, trying to go for yard control. Of course, the smokes soon to come in. You dare to say, yet where are the smokes?
There are none.
There is a player in secret. It's Nickelback standing by the M4 as the flashes are coming through. Lion can't really do all too much, but Nickelback will get two before being traded out. That's decent. With only Kyoshima alive now. I think he wants to go back towards outside, possibly to challenge main, but with 30 seconds left, he has to go for a save. They will have the economy to buy back, as of course we saw them save quite some rifles earlier. And that's quite good for him. As a rookie player in secret moving in, Bondic just too good.
Yeah, that's a really quick push from Bondic out of secret, and that just works out for him, apparently. Gives him an AK in his hands as well, so that's a nice little bonus. And Heretics, with that, lose one round there, so their advantage shrinks a little bit. But now we'll have to see if they can keep it up, if Heretics will now just come back quite immediately, or if Winstrike is going to be on their own little streak now, starting off.
It's going to be Winstrike hoping to get a few rounds in for themselves, because if they don't, they're going to be in trouble. At least they equalized their CT score from the last map, and that is great already. Insane. They just need so much more, and they are a very strong team, especially on the T side. But I'm not really sure where it just goes wrong on that CT side so far. There will be a technical timeout coming in from Heretics. Possibly Kyoshima disconnecting once more.
It could be. Would be.
Or they
be
just
nice
need an IT guy.
Would be nice and consistent, you know? Would you? What did you say, that they need an IT guy?
Yeah, maybe they need
Could
some
you
support.
be their IT guy?
No. I just say, have you tried turning it
On
off
and off
and
again.
on again? And then, otherwise, pull out cable, put in cable again.
Ooh.
Yeah,
those are some
been there
advanced
as well.
tactics that you're using.
If the internet still doesn't work, look if your phone has Wi-Fi.
Ooh.
If it doesn't have Wi-Fi, internet broken, you cry and then try to turn off the router and turn it back on.
And if that doesn't work, you're forced to go outside.
Then you Google on your mobile internet
data.
to see if there's a disruption in your local area, and you're hoping some other people have also reported it. Then you see that isn't the case. Then you're starting to wonder.
Oh,
and
no.
You'll just be looking at the lights of your router for an hour.
I do remember at one point an issue that I had. Luckily, it disappeared eventually, because they even sent a technician to my house at one point, and he said, "Yeah, I can't find anything." But I was like, "Yeah, but even if you can't find anything, I'm still having this issue." Because I think it was every like 2, 3 a.m., and I am a bit of a night owl, I will admit. Like the internet would just die, so it was just like go out, and I was just telling them like, "Yeah, what is this?" Like it happens consistently around night, or whenever I'm starting some sort of big download, you know, like if you're doing some kind of Steam, if you're downloading a new game or whatever.
Counter-Strike update, yes.
Well, no, not the Counter-Strike updates. They're not that big. But like, I just told them that, and they did, like, even to the point that they sent a technician to my house. You know, you call them and they say, "Well, I can't see anything here, you know, on my end." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm still having a problem. So clearly this
must be on your end."
Yeah, this is not like, and even got I believe we even got the router replaced at one point, and that still didn't fix the issue.
You poor man.
Yeah,
Maybe
I know.
you just have to go to sleep at normal times. Maybe it was just your mom
don't be,
trying to fix you.
Oh, please, no, don't be silly now.
Nobody does that in any way.
Exactly.
Well, we do see Lucky being tagged up to about half HP. That's a decent chunk of damage being done, as we're biding our time for the Heretics yard push to come in. They're looking around the smokes, as again, it will be a player into War Secret. I believe, however, it's this time a Lion with the AWP, and indeed, he's looking for a target, looking for his prey. And his Hunter is standing by as his teammates will get some frags. Kristen with a double. They now know where the Lion is, but Hiroshima, he's going down to Bombing as well as a double for him. The Lion will fall as at least the AWP down, but a bomb as well being dropped in towards the main area. And, well, Lucky standing by, taking yet another bullet. And, well, most likely Winstrike to take yet another round.
You did bet on a free mapper situation,
Yes.
right? I convinced you of doing that. So
Yes.
maybe, who knows, if Winstrike now puts in a good comeback on the CT side and they actually grab a couple more rounds.
If Winstrike wins the map, you'll even get a high five from me.
Oh, nice. That's what I live for. Now I do want it to go to a free mapper, to be quite honest.
Ooh.
Now there's
By the way, talk about outages. I once
Yeah.
had a very weird thing happen to me because, you know, power outages can happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're always confused. They're never convenient.
No,
because
they never
we
are.
only notice them if they're not convenient. I was walking home with my girlfriend after going out for dinner, and suddenly the lights from the street went out, and then
Ooh.
every house went dark.
oh dear.
And we're like, oh, it can be really, really dark in here. And we looked, and everyone was walking in their houses with, of course, the flashlights from their phones, because
Yeah.
nobody else has a normal torch anymore. So they
I still
just
do.
looked around, and they walked outside as well, and asked us, like, is it down everywhere? I said, yep. And we were just walking home, happy as can be. We just went for dinner, so we're full. We get home, and of course, no lights.
oh, what a surprise.
So we were like trying to survive, but we knew we had candles. Our housemate didn't really
Aw.
figure that out because he's not that smart. And we put on some candles. Had a normal, nice night of drinking a few cocktails, and eventually the
Aw.
lights turned on within like half an hour. So that was quite alright. But
Oh,
it
that's-
was so weird to just walk down the street, and it's
Yeah,
just as if
seeing-
everyone at the same moment in time says, "It's nighttime now,"
yeah.
and just pitch black everywhere.
Yeah, no, I very much I remember having that like when I was on holiday. I believe when I was on holiday to Sweden actually. I was in a pretty remote spot at some point, and just if there's no other houses, you know, you just like you go outside, it's just dark, you know.
There's nothing.
Yeah, and I love that, you know, because if there's no light pollution, you can actually see the stars and the constellations.
What now?
Yeah, I know, right?
Is that a thing?
There's glowy things in the sky.
I thought global warming got rid of all those stars, but, well, apparently not. As we do see a force bite to come in from Heretics. They do already tag up Lackey a little bit, but he's still standing by. Molly's to fly by his head, as he wants to go for a cheeky peek. The flashbangs will go too deep, as Mecha will be flashed himself. Another flash to come in, a very good pop flash, yet they won't go for that ramp take. So it might seem as if they want to go for an A split with a little bit of outside pressure. Maybe even a B drop through fence. As Nickelback standing by, gets first rack on towards Kiyoshima. He's trying to hunt, but he can't make it work. And here will be that execute to come in. XMS takes down Lucky. It might be the turnaround towards the ramp area, yet they're still trying to commit here. Nickelback takes down Lucky in the meantime. A flashbang really well timed from the Winstrike side will slow down the Heretics members just a little bit longer. And Kristen is standing by with a double spray
Ooh.
down. Only XMS alive, the only player to really get a kill. He will get a second as well, almost a third on towards the Lion. But we're still biding our time, and Nate comes in. He's really tagged up now. And it's only a matter of seconds before Bombek in his back will get the frag with a sloppy spray.
Yeah, not the nicest spray, but he was lucky in the sense that the nade had already done most of the work along with his teammates, spraying him down a little bit. And with that, Winstrike now grabbed their third round. They're getting closer to Heretics now, you know, only one round removed from getting the equalizer. So who knows if they keep this up now? Could Winstrike actually, for a change, putting down a decisive CT side? And then I'd say, you know, from Winstrike, a good, you know, couple of rounds is definitely 6-7. And they can play out that T-side aggressiveness a little bit better, you know. That leans close to them a bit more, and that might be their advantage. So I'd say if we see him getting to that point, there is a solid chance that this map could turn into Winstrike's, well, win.
XMS standing by with the Deagle in hand so far, not to be tagged up by Lackey. Goes on for yet another spray, as of course he can still have a very teeny tiny wallbang through the wall in towards lobby. The damage, negligible. But, well, it is sometimes a little bit of a fear factor for that T-side team, as they will go for, this time, a ramp push. Lackey will be spotted out, will be slightly tagged, but there will be a smoke from one of his teammates, meaning Heretics wants to go for a different play. It might be an A-take. Listen, if you throw that nade, it's going to be money, and it will be! Look at his damage being dealt on towards the 3 players in that hut. First frag coming in, the second as well. He now has to reload and be a little bit careful. Nickelback has his back, as it's going to be a line with the last frag and a 4-4 score. Equal numbers, and maybe they can actually gain the lead. However, they now also have to play once more against a full buy from the Heretic side. It's going to be a little bit hard to go up against. But, well, you never know. They've now played it out to perfection the past few rounds. Why couldn't they as well? That nade, beautiful. Perfection.
You just
love,
like
you.
You love. Aww, that's so sweet. You just love to see it. But no, I think we're both perfect.
I know. It's like...
There's a reason why they hired us, right?
Oh, well. I'm not sure. It's going to be an AWP for the side of the line. He's trying to move up for himself to get once more an opening frag. There won't be an AWP coming down from Heretics, and as the flash goes in a little bit too deep and the players will move in rather close, it will be the first frag coming in for XMS almost, and actually he will get that follow-up as well. He's gone not even low, but then he runs in towards Nickelback, and that's 1 kill in return.
But that's sloppy. I think it's...
No, it's just over-aggression. Why would you expect a third player to be there?
I was just going to say, expecting third player there might be a little bit, that's a bit unlikely, but that doesn't work out too well for him, though, because look at Chris along with Bondik now. They've actually turned this round around completely. It's only Kiyoshima left. Had a very good performance in the last map, so let's see if he can maybe continue that. As he frags out Bondik, it looks like it. He sees, but that's a good dodge there. He's only got one more flash left in his favor, and now he's going to throw that down to Vents. Gonna do a quick little run around the map, and now Nickelback, you already see him going towards the ramp. I don't think Kiyoshima will be in time, because by the time he gets there we go.
Even throw in some utility as well, just
to add insult to
for
injury.
giggles.
Yep. And that's the 5th round for Winstrike, and now that also means that they get the advantage. Heretics had a very solid start on this map, the 4-0, I believe, even. And now it's Winstrike who've gotten their own little 5-round streak built up in, well, as a response.
Well, RJ, I soon have yet another riddle for you.
Oh, really?
Are you ready for it?
I was trying to think up one myself, but it was too easy, I thought.
I expected. Who do you think that the Frenchies regard as the best player in this server? Well, first you have the A-Rush XMS popping in with the first frag. It will be Frenchie XMS with a follow-up as well. Rack 9, as always, doing quite well in these rounds. And it might be a round in favor of Heretics. Do you have the answer yet?
No, Alien?
No. Bondik. It's good in his name already, as we do see now Nickelback sent by BAK. He's going to go for his spread and gets 2. B2K in hand, can't really seal the deal, as it will be XMS still wrapping around with the Tech 9, gets the frag. AWP from heaven. And now we have a 5-5 Heretics on their 4th buy. Bring it back. Or actually Eco, I dare to say, even. So now have loads of money.
Loads of money.
And might be able to gain the lead. However, there will be reserve on the side of Winstrike, able to possibly get a round for themselves again.
And it will depend now. This first half, maybe this tail end of this first half could be going a bit toe-to-toe, really. Rounds being tossed around, and that's going to be the question of if we do go into that second half, if it's going to either be Heretics really being comfortable on the CT side, or if it's going to be Winstrike just owning the T side. They started off well. It's a good spray down. Nickelback here with quite an aggressive position and can punish Maka through that. The nade definitely helping him out there at the start. Lack in the meantime also takes out XMS. Nickelback now falling back, probably going for that heaven position. And Heretics deciding, well, the A site was a nice idea, but let's just go for the B site instead.
Big ups coming down from Kiyoshima, however the bomb still being dropped out towards the lobby, and it's going to be Nivera moving up through outside, trying to get something in return, and Lecky, he's just in time to at least be in a safe position. Yet, we do know that can be wallbanged via vents. Also a player in ramp, soon to respond if there will be that execute to come in. Kiyoshima is now moving up. Actually, the player still close to that wallbangable position. And I'm curious if Heretics will actually go for it. Lucky and his teammate are going for the window area. There will be a player also coming down via the double doors. And 2 flashes will contest at least the player from ramp trying to come in. Lucky going down. It will be Nickelback with a return frag. Still 2 more players left standing for the Winstrike side until one dies. Lucky still remains at a 1v3. Gets the first frag, 30 seconds left. And Nickelback with the AWP on close range not really favors him. He goes down as well. Bondik, the last player remaining, but the bomb has been dropped still onto her side. And Bondik, he's going to the double doors. And will he get the frag as well? He's standing by, the door still open, going for the window position right now. Lucky might just be a little bit too late and out of luck. Just go for the peek, but Bondik just too quick. 6-5, Winstrike once more take the lead. And they're doing well to come back in towards this match and show us their CT side can actually gain some rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they've definitely put down a better performance so far compared to what we saw from them last time, I believe, on Nuke that was, of course. And Winstrike, this is, you know, their turning point. This is what they have to prove to us. They have to actually show that they can do it on the CT side, and with that, I might gradually start to feel a bit more confident about their, well, you know, T side coming up.
Well, we do see the AWP once more for a line. Once more, no AWP on towards Heretics. The damage being dealt by the nade already. Nike with a good spray on towards 2 more players, dealing additional damage. However, his ammo is low. He has to fall back slightly, and so he will. With, of course, now a fresh magazine to work with. More utility being expended to slow down a radio push. And I think he's radioing in his team that, well, he started off the round quite well. And they'll be trying to hold on a little bit better to their player lead this time around, because the last round it was quite sloppy. It came back to a 1-1, despite having 2 players advantage for Winstrike.
And the question, Kiyoshima, that is a good, really take back though. Kristen taken out, and Kristen also someone who's been consistently holding that position quite well, so that could be the opening that they need to get further onto that A-bomb side, although they do still have Ellie in here contesting from outside. And I do wonder if they can turn this around, because they're at a 1-man disadvantage once again, that being Heretics. And Ellie in here could spot someone out rather quickly. Yes, he does, but he misses a critical headshot. And now he gets refragged as a result of that. But will Nivera expect Lackey so close in? Nickelback in the meantime gets Maka. Nivera, though, he does take out Lackey. And he could now go into Secret, make it a 2v2. This would mean that the bomb is getting somewhat closer to that B-bomb site. But Nickelback here, he could become a nasty surprise from the top of the site. They're checking this angle. No, they aren't, actually. Nivera's looking away, and it's down to Lucky now to commit to the plant. Of course, he does have the time, because well, Bondik is still coming via vents. I thought that was maybe, and now he's getting closer. Oh, we see this exchange. Lucky, he's going back onto ramp, and he is going to be fast enough to now play time. It was risky there, but Lucky indeed. Spray down is good. Heretics do get this 6th round, and as I've said it before, toe-to-toe is, I think, the right description here. They now, at the end, are definitely just throwing these rounds back and forth, and it could easily be looking to be a 7-8 type situation going into the second half. We'll have to see, of course, you know, in whose favor that is going to be. If that would be an 8-7 for Heretics or 1 for Winstrike. It could be both, I'd say, at this point. Equipment value is also, you know, a bit less on the Winstrike side right now. They did just have to take that loss on the chin, and they can only go for pistol armor.
Well, pistol armor, it's something, but it's going to be their force by to bring it back. At least Nickelback now with the opening kill will get an AK of himself and instantly fall back to safer grounds. However, there will still be a player standing quite aggressively. I do believe that's Lackey, and he is the sole member of his team with actually a kit as well, so that might just be a little bit of an over-aggression coming down from the Winstrike members, as they need to hold on to this player lead right now. Deagle standing by for a Lion. Getting some support as well from Nickelback, actually moving into the AK, and he's rattling off some shots, so they might be a little bit scared, as, well, normally I would be too. Maka going slightly low by a Deagle shot, with still 52 HP remaining. Still, you see Heretics now really worrying, really not sure on where to push, and they might also be expecting a scout, as this is that force by coming down from the Winstrike side.
Absolutely, and well, Winstrike so far, they've already gotten that player advantage in their hands, so we'll have to see what that's going to give if they can play this out further. They've got that AK in the hands of Nickelback, so it's really down to him to make the hold true, but there is actually the utility. They can put up that smoke wall now to cross into Secret, but Lackey here. Oh, this could be a nasty surprise.
He's still just sitting in main, waiting as XMS is moving closer towards locker room. Nickelback standing there with his AWP, AK rather, that he saved, and now he's actually gone to Heaven. And he's saying, well, this Heaven will become a hell with the I am bringing, as Lackey will peek solo, and then you will fall as well. A 4-4, XMS trying to move up towards that side. Tagged up slightly, and he will go down to Nickelback. That's going to be a triple kill. Very good bait coming down from the Winstrike side. And only Maka alive now in a 1v2. And he will make it a 1v1. The last player coming from his flank, a Lion, making a lot of noise as well, so he does know. But the time has run out, and that means the round goes in favor of Winstrike. That's a very good force. They could even finish the last kill on towards Maka. That would be great, but they can't. Still, however, that round lead for themselves, but they don't really have much money to have a decent buy-in. But I think the same could be said about Heretics.
Maka does get him back indeed. And yeah, Heretics, I wouldn't be surprised at this point if Heretics now take this back, you know, if they do make this the 7th round for them, and that we are just going to get a very close result at the end of the first half. And with that, it does make me interested to see what he's going to give into that second half. You know, like I said before, it could be Heretics really playing out that CT advantage well, but at the same time, it could be Winstrike feeling more comfortable on their T side. You know, their CT side has been, I suppose, the Achilles heel on Nuke so far. And, oh, Nickelback, that's a stronghold, could grab the advantage now from Winstrike. He gets the second frag, but he doesn't. Lucky does manage to refrag him, though at what cost, I dare say. It's quite a bit of damage. Nivera, though, oh, Lucky here. He could be coming in clutch, but he's just not fast enough. As now he's still stuck behind double doors. Oh, that AWP is, or a scout even, is good enough at close range. A lucky situation for Elian even, that damage had already been done by Nickelback there. Otherwise, that would not have been a frag.
Possibly no, as we do now see the 2 members of Winstrike most likely saving these AKs. They know their buy in the next round will be horrendous, just like it was in this round.
Oh, indeed.
And with this A side already being taken by Heretics, splitting up their team quite convincingly, there's no real reason to risk it. They'll try to stand by, they'll try to survive, they'll try to bring it back to an 8-7 score lead for themselves, but they have at least now gotten 7 rounds on their CT side, and against Heretics, they've never done that in recent times.
And we'll see.
It's a new record.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's insane.
But hey, we should be happy for them, you know. Heretics indeed now they grab this 7th round, and I do wonder, you know, I'm excited to see, you know, this is a pretty close cut up to this point, you know, they're quite at each other's throats, and with that, I wonder if this last round now is going to go in favor of Heretics due to the fact that their buy is considerably better, or that Winstrike is still going to throw it back a little bit. Oh, there we see that UMP coming in again.
What a horrendous skin as
yeah,
well.
that was actually a very, very nasty skin. I do agree with you there.
Well, I hope we never see that again, as we do see, of course, a full buy to come in from Heretics.
So
AK's utility all around. Tsushima wants to go for a little bit of a cheeky peek. Yet from that hot area, there will be a player quite aggressive, as Lucky now also trying to push through this ramp position. And Lion actually has the opening frag onto his Lucky, though saved. AK's already doing some significant damage. But will XMS actually be expecting this player? There was a flashbang, so he should know. Why else would they flash that? And he's standing by. Another player now moving in towards his position. As there will be now also, I believe, a Lion moving on towards Heaven. XMS now spawning out a player. Lucky with the second frag of the round. Kushima now trying to move in for a refrag. He gets one. He might get 2, but no. Nickelback with a disgusting UMP. That's one in return. It's a 4-2. AK's still in the hands of Winstrike if Nickelback decides to go for that upgrade. And you'd say soon he will. Yet he doesn't
He really likes that skin, you know. He really just loves it.
To show it off.
Yeah. Oh, but there it goes. Away it goes. Nivera gets the frag on Nickelback. Makes it a 3v2, but oh, Krisen here. He could come in and provide a nasty surprise for Nivera, although with Maka coming in, oh, this is a close engagement. Nivera does take out Krisen there. Swift frag and make it the 2nd, and actually the 3rd for Nivera in this last round. Heretics with that do grasp onto the round advantage here at Nuke. And with that now 8-7.
Dare I say, what a stupid push to come in. Nickelback, by the way, doing the work, 22-10. But he had the UMP, could have upgraded to an AK freely. And had a 4-2 to play out. Yet now he pushed in solo. Then another player pushes in solo. Why? So easy in favor of Heretics to just get those frags in return. And he could have just upgraded his weapon. Then they would have had 2 AKs against 2 AKs and then 2 pistols to possibly bait out with. And they just literally gave away that round in favor of Heretics. And Nickelback, he's done some great work, but that push, that really cost him the round, and now the lead as well. And now they have to make it back on their T side, which, of course, is their better side.
Oh, absolutely. And
they're still behind.
We'll see now if they do make it through, though, because I do worry, right? We did say this as well beforehand. Statistics don't really favor Heretics, don't really favor Winstrike. Track record also doesn't really favor Winstrike, to be honest. They could definitely still make this close. You know, the last time it was 16-13 in favor of Heretics. So now I dare say, you know, Winstrike, if they do get like 5-6 more rounds in, we could see the same. But the question is, how many rounds can Heretics get in the time that Winstrike actually gets in those 5 to 6 rounds? I dare say it might be a little bit more, and that would be worrying, of course, for Winstrike.
They just need to get this first pistol in as the P250 will be hunting a line, tapping away XMS. It's the opening frag. But there is a player already moving in. Lucky standing by with the USP in hand. Will try to tap away two, actually. The bomb also dropped more in towards hallway, so they need to recover that. Nivera also standing on towards side. Bonding now from defense, trying to put some pressure on towards Lucky. But those were some beautiful shots. And now it's going to be a 4-2-3 favor for Heretics. As Bondik is slowly moving up with his Glock, but they might consider going back towards the A side as 3 players on the Heretic side have already rotated to B. So this might be the turnaround they need, and they could get a plant in, and there's a player actually in main already trying to check it out. 3 players now, double doors, trying to move through. Maka will maybe get a frag, but he's not really going for that much of a contest. Nickelback takes down Kiyoshima. That's at least the A side gained. Only being thrown just way too late from a Lion. He goes down to Maka as well, and only Maka will be trying to duel Nickelback at his time. The rest of the team will soon come in. Nickelback doesn't even have armor. 30 seconds left and the time is slowly running out. As we do now see Maka trying to get another frag of his own. He wants to go for that triple, but well, so far 20 seconds, it's just ticking down, not even slowly anymore. No. Pressure is way too high, he will go down. That's 9-7. Heretics winning both pistols so far on towards this map. That means they've now won 3 out of 4 in this series.
3 out of 4. I like the sound of that. But that doesn't sound too good for Windstrike, though. You know, it was a bit of a, I'd say a little bit of, yeah, that was a very clean shot. But then look, you know, at Lucky here coming in. Tap. Well, no, tap, tap. You know, that was a bit cleaner. Yeah. At the first, you know, he did miss a couple of those initial bullets, but in the end, the result was there. I'd say, though, you know, winning both pistol rounds, Heretics could be off to a very solid start here. And look at those MP9s, that M4 as well. I do worry, but we'll see what gives now. As Heretics here, they could make it to that 10th round. And, well, you know, for Windstrike, I'd hope that perhaps their coach turns out to be a wise man, that he can actually give them the solid tactics that they need, give them some good advice in between, and that he won't have to turn to stealing, for example.
Well, maybe they can steal some rounds, that would be great. As Heretics is now actually getting the opening kill on towards the Lion. Kristen with a refrag with his Deagle. Great shot. But still, they are playing rather slow, and it seems as if Windstrike is not really putting down too much pressure. There will be some utility now flying out. A main will be smoked off. There will also be a smoke going towards the CT area, rather. And it's going to force off the locker area. There will be yet another frag from Maka, dealing a lot of damage on towards Nickelback as well. But again, a refrag coming in. This time is Lucky with the Deagle, 3-2-3, and only 3 MP9s actually remaining on the Heretic side. Those M4s dropped way too far back in both garage and more towards that CT container. And Nivera, he's making so much noise, they must know where he is. Still gets a frag. Bombnik will be traded out by Nickelback. Again, a trade in favor of Windstrike, but look at the time, 20 seconds left, and they still don't really have a side to go to. So they need to get a move on, but they're not really going for it. Kiyoshima sending by, that's 1 frag, yes, and a double. It was quite a stretch, but eventually he will make it work. Now going to save that M4 if he can find it in time. Yes, just
in the nick of time. That makes the 10th round for Heretics now, and they've already achieved their double digits. They were, of course, already on the 8th round when they went into this second half. And you can see there again, you know, it was definitely a game of refrags coming in, but then at the end, Kiyoshima here. It was Windstrike pressured by time. They had to move up now, you know. They didn't stand much of a chance, really, because they had about, what was it, 15 seconds to effectively execute, get onto the site, and get the bomb down. And with 2 players remaining as your opponents, that is nigh impossible. Let's see, though, what Windstrike makes out of it now. They've got a Deagle by. Might not be the best, but they've got some lovely pistol shots so far. Bondik here, though, he gets tagged up quite severely, and this nade could be it. Yes. No, it's Lucky, actually. Oh, that's...
more money,
yep.
So that's better. As we do see Max sitting by the M4 quite aggressively. Will get one before he will be traded out. Those Deagles once more just racking up a kill every now and then. But Lucky sitting by the MP9 gets one of his own again, and that means he wants to go for yet another. Has to reload, however, as a Lion will eventually be tagged up. So far still surviving, actually player on towards the silo as well. Lucky overextending. Kiyoshima now with 1 kill in return, and Nickelback not supporting his teammate. But I dare to say, RJ, this might be the 11th round for Heretics.
Really now?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so surprised that you say that. I would never see that coming. You're saying that, you know, having 3 people going against 1 is, that's probably going to be in their favor? Really,
Ever
look at
so
that.
Slightly.
Just a tiny bit, right? That's XMS gets the last frag in. It's now already the 4-round advantage for Heretics, and this is kind of the, well, the opposite of what you'd expect, or well, of what you'd hope to happen on the Windstrike side. You know, it's Heretics being very, very strong on their CT side. Of course, they do have that pistol round momentum going for them, so that is definitely playing in their advantage. They've had to play against, you know, just now basically an eco because they only really bought Deagles. But the problem is that that does give Heretics a lot of, well, game to play with. They have a very open playing field and they already have an advantage. If Windstrike now can't get onto the side consistently enough, but look at this. Once again, solid start of the round by Heretics. Damage dealt as well onto Windstrike. They've lost one man. Bondik is tagged up. They're going to have to change it around. Instead of going via lobby, they're going to have to try via B ramp now. But once again, this nade coming in. That is solid. Lots and lots of damage. And that means Bondik only has 7 HP left.
In the meantime, it's going to be Maka with a frag on towards Bondik. He was already low, so that's going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out. Like he takes down Nivera. It's going to be Lucky with a refrag, however, and now we have a 4-on-2. The bomb yet to be planted. Lucky still in the window where he will contest the Windstrike side for the time being. We're just going to wait for at least one more kill to come in. But so far, not really much happening as Lucky will stand by, gets yet another frag of his own, leaving only a Lion alive, and the bomb is dropped. He has to move in. He's going to have troubles. As of course, it will still be the player at the window. That's a very good response from a Lion, but, well, a 1v3 still. Damage being dealt, however, on towards XMS and Kiyoshima. So there might be a chance, as long as he does believe in himself.
And that's what you always have to do, you know, you have to keep believing in yourself. Now this smoke could give him the plant at least. That would be some money in the... Oh, never mind. He's faking it out.
Oh, that's a very big fake. Trying to go towards the A side, and there's no player actually standing by from the Heretic side. And now he's making the noise. Now they have to move on. But will they be in time to do anything in return? Well, XMS is already in the plan. Will now go in. That will be at least the denial of the plan for now. Though. But time is running out. There will be a second player coming from Squeaky, one from Heaven. Is there utility? Yes, there is a smoke, but it doesn't really work too well as Mecha is not actually committing for that Heaven take. Lion with 10 HP now having to contest 2 players coming in from that A main area. As Kiyoshima, he's a little bit worried.
But it is only one bullet that they need. One shot, and the Lion is already taken out. Case in point. Down he goes as Maka frags him out. The 12th round for Team Heretics now. And are you going to defuse it?
Yeah, they're just going to check that they can get some upgraded weapons, maybe an AWP if it would lay around somewhere, but there wasn't one in towards this round, I do believe.
Yeah, I didn't see. I think Maka picked up that defuse kit later in the round.
There's the AWP.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, I was just worried because I didn't see the defuse kit on Maka in the beginning because, like I said, I think he picked that up somewhere. And
yeah, just after the frag, he got it, and then it was all right in the end.
So I was worried, like, is he just waiting? What are you doing? Why are you just standing here looking at the bomb, looking at that dead terrorist legs?
This kid just right there in his path. We'll pick it up. Look at Kiyoshima say, these points are mine, buddy. That's 12-7. Heretics getting yet another frag, and Windstrike so far without a single round on their T side. Maybe this round will be the round to turn it all around. But there will be 2 AWPs on the side of the CTs. Nivera and Mecha, of course, trying to play with that, as they're still trying to play the smart game, trying to wait things out. But there's not really much happening.
And now it is a 5-round advantage still, and this could very easily turn into a 6th round. And with really how consistently Heretics is playing on their CT side, I do see it happening that, I mean, they might even put down a clean half here, but we'll have to see. Maybe this is going to be the opportunity for Windstrike. They don't have a lot of utility to work with. Oh, but Maka starts off well, clicked at just the right moment to get the frag. If he was... Oh, but he has just made noise. Lackey can take use of this, but oh dear.
He even gets a tag on towards Nickelback as well.
That's a 2.
Oh no.
Well, it's not a 2 for 1, but it's a 1.5 for 1 because he gets quite a bit of damage on Nickelback.
But it's a double wall bang to go towards Nickelback, and he still deals quite some damage. Yeah. That's quite painful for the side of Windstrike, as Mecha is now just holding off Hell, waiting for a player to possibly chime in, but well, they might actually go up on towards the barrels, past the AC unit. But Nickelback is actually right here in Hell. He might be peeked out. Mecha is not expecting it after actually saying there might be a player here. No, it won't work out. Bondik now will follow up onto Kiyoshima. Nivera going down as well, but XMS, luckily, the man they need to stay in it, 2 in it. There will be a rotate coming in towards the B side. Little time, so they have to really get the plant going. And Lucky is already ready to possibly contest it. Flashbang for himself will open up the door. That will be a good flash, but Nickelback will be dodging it. Only XMS alive now in the 1v2. And the AWP still holding the angle, as they know the last player most likely also to come from fence. Very good wallbang, but still not the kill. So Nickelback is trying to get the frag in the end, and he will. 12-8, Winstrike is slowly coming back.
Absolutely, and this might just be the start of the turnaround. Winstrike, they still got a 4-round deficit, so they have some catching up to do, but they'll have the equipment for it now, and Heretics will actually be looking at a save here, due to the way that was played out, due to the heavy losses, but also the pretty much non-existent reserves on their side. At the very best, they'll upgrade their pistols a bit, and... oh, okay.
Nova!
Oh boy.
But will he have this souvenir skin?
This is an interesting buy, though. What the...
What in the world?
What in the
it's
world?
Sort of a force buy on some and an eco on others. It's going to be Maka, of course, saving up more money as he does want an AWP later on. This will be a frag coming in from XMS, and Kiyoshima doesn't even have a skin. That's disgusting. As a nade will deal some damage on towards XMS, and now he has an AK. Maybe Kiyoshima wants to go up the ladder and take down Bondik, because, well, the shotgun on close range will always work quite well. But XMS is trying to hold down the secret area. That player with him trying to move up. It's going to be Maka followed quite easily. XMS now with 1 refrag, but will be traded out as well. We still have Lucky on towards the side, and it's Heretics playing a very interesting game so far. But it could still make some extra damage come through.
Yeah, I'm still very interested by this Nova in the hands of Kiyoshima. You know, you got to do something, I suppose. So let's see now when that can come in clutch, because it looks like the bomb is going to be going via main after all. And through there we'll get onto the site. And Lucky here. They're keeping each other covered. They're waiting.
Cute.
Yeah, until they get an opportunity. Kiyoshima here. Oh, is he going to peek at the right time?
He hears them. I would just go through the smoke like a madman.
The
there is a
criminal.
player at the defense. Oh my god, Kiyoshima.
Oh,
Under
Kiyoshima.
destruction, another goes down. It's only Lucky alive in 1v2. The bomb has been planted, they don't have a kit. Yep, they do both have weapons. It's Lucky with the AWP is trying to move up. Lucky now getting the first one on towards Kiyoshima. That's at least a clutch, but Kiyoshima, you're dealing some big damage there, brother.
Yeah, but that was, like, as well, just with a Nova for starters. But at the end there, I feel like they kind of just, you know, you had the one player peeking in from the smoke, and then the other came. Like, if they'd kind of timed that a little bit better, he would have maybe had this decision of, oh no, where am I going to shoot? We can see it again now. Just calculated, boom, and then, oh, someone else, boom, dead. That is some
crazy,
nasty Nova damage. Look, like, he goes in, okay, and then he can
but he at least played it to perfection. His position was not expected by the players of Heretics. He would have most likely, usually, play around the side. But then going more aggressive, you at least have a different angle going for you. And you saw it as well, Kiyoshima was already pre-aiming more towards the side, same as Lucky. And then you can at least force 1v1s, and that was what he was trying to do. It would be for Alliant trying to spot someone out via the squeaky door, which has been blown to smithereens, rip in peace. But so far, nobody actually peeking. It is a full eco on side of Heretics, now also taking some damage on towards Maka. That means, well, most likely this should be an easy round in favor of the T side.
Famous last words, of course, but it will depend. Right now, it doesn't look like Heretics is going to get those sick 1-digs just yet, as Bondik frags out Maka. That is the one player out of the running. Now we'll have to see if Heretics are sadly going to have to win strike those double digits. It is quite starting to look like it. Bondik gets the frag on XMS as well. Makes it the 5 versus 3. And right now, Heretics don't stand much of a chance anymore. I'm afraid that this does look like it is going to be Winstrike that do win this 10th round.
Well, there are 2 players remaining. They could still deal some damage, but Bondik and Alliant, they're standing by to get the last 2 frags in. Alliant with 1, Bondik trying to eventually take down Lucky as well. And we do see indeed the 12-10 double digits for that Winstrike side, and they have now won 3 rounds on their T side themselves. There will be a buy coming in from Heretics, who had some crazy buys before, but well, let's see if they can actually keep on to their lead, or if Winstrike wins this round, force them back towards a pistol armor, because that's a very, very high chance of that happening.
Absolutely, and we'll have to see how that plays out in a moment. Winstrike, they well, they have 2 more rounds to work out, really. It's doable.
Yes.
That is very much achievable. We'll have to see how that works out. For now, I do believe that Heretics can still... Oh, dear.
Oh, Lucky. You will get a kill on towards Nickelback, who doesn't even look up. And, well, sometimes the sky is the limit, and this time Lucky was that sky, who has since then also thrown away some weapons. It's going to be him taking just a little bit of damage, but at least he's still surviving, playing at the lower bomb side, but close to the fence, so he could come back if they do go for an A-take on the Windstrike side. This is not really the start of the round they needed, and not really what they wanted, as the line now also goes down. Maka with a double kill even, and he's just holding down the squeaky door. And I dare to say, Windstrike, your days are numbered.
Oh, quite harsh even, right? But it is the harsh reality, perhaps, that they don't like to hear. Windstrike does have, I believe, the reserves now to, in case they need to, which they probably will, buy it out. Nivera, once again, you know, his nade game is always on point, but he does go down to Krizen there. And with that now, Lackey, he gets caught out of his utility. He can force out this player, but will he expect the double peek? Or the re-peek? Yes, apparently he does. Maka goes down, Kiyoshima as well. But XMS now, he can... Oh, XMS, no way. Oh, there we go. The spray down is still kind of sloppy, though. Like, he got Lackey there by, well, actually a headshot, which was, in a way, a little bit lucky. Krizen can now commit to the plant, and Lucky can actually go for the 7 position. I believe he only needs the 1 shot.
No, he needs more than 1 shot, unless if he goes for the headshot, then he will eventually have the good angle on towards Krizen as well. That's the AK save, possibly the AWP of Maka, if he does get it, and he will. But Heretics almost losing that round, and they made it way too close for comfort, because they should have had, with at least that 5-2, I believe, at a certain point, a round in their favor. Just some peaks coming in from Windstrike, some headshots to follow from those AKs, and it could have even been a 12-11 scoreline.
We'll see now if this is going to be Heretics' chance to really finish it off. They let Windstrike get to 11 rounds in the previous map, so maybe, just maybe, you know, they do at least grant Windstrike the pleasure of double digits, but not much more than that.
Maybe at least another buy for Windstrike, having the planned the loss bonus as well. At least something to work with, a little bit of reserves onto some players, so maybe they lose yet another round, they can rebuy and put down the pressure on towards the Heretic side. There will be an auto shotty coming down from Kiyoshima. Love it.
Okay.
There'll be a FAMAS on towards Nivera, but the flashes are good. It's going to be Kiyoshima with the first frag, goes for a second as well. Maybe a bird. Oh no! Like he's standing by. A 2-on-2 trade. Now some pressure still from that A main to come down from Heretics, but there will be just a re-smoke. Nivera from lobby will come down in hut. Will be expecting this? No, that's another kill coming in favor of the Heretic side, and Bondek, he's a little bit worried. Also a little bit naded out as Lion tries to flank out on towards Nivera, but he's just too good. For himself, even almost a triple, but Bondek goes down in a trade with Lucky. That means 14-10. Heretics close to that 2-0.
I did love that FAMAS skin that Nivera had there, by the way.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, nice and gold. How pretty.
It's not as beautiful as our shirts, which happen to be matching for some reason.
Oh, it's getting scary, you know, like...
Yeah.
I wonder, you know, I have my own room, but maybe the lockers broken or something, and or you're just showing up at night, you know, just to raid my wardrobe or something. Anyhow, though, let's see if Heretics is going to, well, raid out Windstrike now in these last 2 rounds. They have a chance to finish it out in a 16-0, and if they now get the pressure on Windstrike for that for that first round, then their economy is also going to be absolutely down the drain. Which would mean that Heretics should be able to really finish that out, make it at 2-0, rather swiftly as well. And, well, would mean that we had a short but strong day, is I think the best way to put it.
Oh, indeed. We're biding our time as XMS actually has some pressure on towards the lobby. However, Bondik also standing by the moment he does go for a more aggressive peak. Maka with the AWP has been stellar so far in both this tournament and especially this match. So will be utility once more flying towards outside. He's now mollying off the blue box, with that of course covering off his lower part to be pushed out. He's now going for a peek. There will be a player moving by, but also a player pushing through. Kiyoshima, however, from the locker room, gets the first frag. Now they should be wary of Garage. Krizen trying to move through slowly, but sadly as Kiyoshima does go down to Nickelback. And eventually that brings it into a 4-on-4 in the AWP. Now this time going for that locker peek. He gets one. But Alliance sending by the AWP as well instantly to refrag. Now we have equal numbers, and Bomnik still standing here with XMS not really feeling any pressure.
No, he's just taking it easy. He sees the legs, gets a relatively effortless frag, and of course an upgrade to an AK. And that might just have been the turning point for this round. Nickelback can recover that bomb, but Nivera is going to push that smoke. We'll now quite certainly know that they're going for secret, and indeed, bomb goes down. Elian is the last man standing. He's got that AK, or that AWP in his hands, but Nivera finishes him off rather swiftly. And that is the 15th round now for Heretics. They can recover those 2 weapons, which means their buy will be decent enough. But look at the Windstrike side of things. Full-on loss bonus, which is definitely helping them out, but it's still not ideal. Armor and weaponry is going to be tough, really, to buy for them, I'd say. And you aren't going to see the ideal rifles. You are going to see a lack of utility here or there. And you are going to see worse and worse odds for the Windstrike side of things. But maybe, just maybe, they can make it work. They've really gotten some amazing rounds in with lesser weaponry, so let's see what they pull off.
Bomnik sitting by for his usual nade setup, as he almost always does. Just waits for the molly to extinguish, because otherwise he might be tagged up. Yushima spraying a little bit too greedily, as XMS will get 2 in return. A Lion now with refrag as well, but Lucky standing by to push through main if he needs to. Lion low, Nickelback also slightly tagged up, and the mollies are burning on towards the side, but also on towards Heaven. The bomb will be planted uncontestedly, but there's still some utility to fly out, and Lucky forces out a player from that defense. He will eventually get the frag as well. Not really holding the angle, but it works out in the end. Smeka now goes for an interesting smoke, and Kristen will be slightly flashed. Will be taken up by Maka as well. Just a great frag, and Nickelback coming in the flank. But will they be expecting this? I don't really think they will, as the bomb defuse will now be stuck. He goes for the peak, but Nivera is always standing by. 16-10. That's a very strong and convincing win, once more from the Heretics side.
Yeah, you know, as much as we do love the lads from Windstrike, sadly they couldn't make it through. Heretics get that 16-10, which makes it a rather swift second map as well. A decisive win by them, and sadly also a little bit as predicted. Whilst we did think there was potential for this to become a close match, sadly for Windstrike, they couldn't really finish it out. The moment they lost that first map, it was kind of the, well, how do you put it, the less fortunate situation, the result that you didn't really see coming and that you didn't really hope that there was going to be. You know, you were really holding out for Windstrike to get Vertigo, their own map pick, but they couldn't pull it off. And with that, sadly, on Nuke now, a little bit of a more decisive map for Team Heretics. And sadly, them showing that with that, they made it a rather effortless 2-0.
Yeah, it seems as if Windstrike today just couldn't get going. Their CT side, slightly better, just still not great enough. Let's have a little bit of a look of the Group A bracket. Of course, we had a little bit of delay to finish things off. Heretics and Windstrike, the winners from the get-go. However, Big Academy was strong, and the same may be said about Team Queso. They really surprised, but they just couldn't make it work. And eventually, Heretics unbeaten so far, only losing 1 single map in all the maps they've played in this group.
Yep, and with that, you know, Heretics showing a very strong performance, especially moving towards the finals. Makes, I think, both of us excited to see what they're going to bring to the table, and also makes them quite the contender. And of course, as we look at the final bracket now, we can see Windstrike will, of course, be facing off against Namiga, whilst Heretics will be going up against the Copenhagen Flames. And I think with the performance that Copenhagen Flames has shown us, Heretics could really find quite the worthy adversary in them. But at the same time, Namiga versus Windstrike, that is also going to give quite some spectacle.
I know one thing.
Tell me.
Every map they play will be incredibly T-sided, because both of the teams are really strong on that T side, and CT side sometimes a little bit lacking. The other quarterfinals we have is Fate taking on Hellraisers, and of course the Romanian powerhouse of Nexus taking on Team Secret.
And I think that there's a lot of exciting quarterfinals coming in here, to be quite honest. I want to see Team Nexus perform. I want to see Hellraisers bring something to the table. I want to see Namiga, you know, show that aggression again. But Heretics as well, and Copenhagen Flames as well. See, can they really hold off against, you know, not only MIBR, but Team Heretics as well, and show that they are just one of the great Danish CS teams that don't, you know, that do their rank in the HLTV ranking more than justice, far out even.
Well, I'm banking on Heretics to go quite deeply on towards, of course, this playoff bracket. But, well, we're playing off against each other in the Castle Clash. And today, you convinced me to do something, and I should have never listened to you. I lost a little bit of money as well.
So good.
Unfortunately, in this Castle Clash, you win some, you lose some. There's a reason why we're casters and not analysts.
Absolutely, you know, analysts, we leave that to Maniac. I played it safe today, but I lost 20 euros yesterday, and today I convinced you to put in 20 euros, and You lost that today.
I
so-
should have seen the signs.
Yeah, but to be fair, I did actually think that was a solid bet. I did think, yeah, 3 maps is pretty possible.
I think every bet you put down, you thought it was a solid bet.
That's very true, and look at my results. Absolutely terrible, honestly. But hey, you know, it's at the end of the day, you can more than enough carry my my efforts here for the community, get them that payout that they might desire. And
Well, of course, the 8 winners from today will be picked in the Gleam.io. Of course, in the chat you can find that link to take part in that giveaway on Fi.gg. You can get some nice credits for yourself to play with, win more than we have won, because we're not that great, but we expect you to win a little bit more than we did. And so far, it was an interesting group phase. We have seen some upsets, and LIBR being thrown out in the groups. Quite interesting, to say the least.
Indeed.
But of course, I think that tomorrow, starting with the playoffs, we'll have some very, very good games as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very excited to be seeing those quarterfinals going down, and I'm just curious to see, you know, what that's going to give. It's going to be, I think, amazing and some very, very nail-biting, exciting CS that we're going to see, without a doubt in the world.
Well, I think it's time to reminisce on Heretics being so strong. Winstrike hoping they can build on towards their CT side, because it was quite painful, to say the least, especially on the first map, and also, of course, last week when we saw them play before. Tomorrow, we'll be back at 5 p.m. CEST to have the first match in the playoffs. I believe that is Heretics actually taking down Copenhagen Flames, or actually taking on. We're expecting them to take them down. And that means
Remains to be seen.
that after a very short day today, we'll be back tomorrow with 2 best of 3s at 5 p.m. CST. And normally say good night, but now I do tell you good day.